The man that the New York Mets and Tom Seaver would like to keep off the bases, Campy Campaneris, will lead it off. 2 for 10 in the World Series. Does have a triple. And despite the fact that he was not able to read the pitches too well, wound up with 2 stolen bases. One on a bad throw, high throw to the first baseman by John Matlack, which enabled Campaneris to steal a base. In the last 8 games, including the playoffs, Campaneris has stolen 6 times. And he was also quoted as saying, I saw Tom Seaver throw Joe Morgan at Cincinnati get a good jump on him. I think I can steal. Seaver's first pitch, outside ball 1. Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver, 19-game winner, is a power pitcher. He will not change. He does have a good breaking ball. He's got everything, can feel his position. Comes back with a second-rate fastball that pops up to the foul territory. Grody and Milner there. Jerry Grody, the catcher, tracks it down. 1 out. That'll bring up Joe Rudy, hitting at 270, 12 home runs, 66 RBIs. That's in the regular season. A year ago, Joe, who was ill a lot this year, set an Oakland A's batting record with a 305 mark in the World Series. Rudy is 3 for 8, has driven in 2 runs, and carries a lofty average of 375. Right-handed batter, closed stance, and we'll repeat again, who can ever forget Rudy's tremendous catch in the World Series a year ago against the left field wall, leaping high against those Cincinnati Reds. Tom Seaver comes in and throws him a breaking pitch. First one we've seen tonight from Seaver. Blown away, ball 1. An absolute sellout. I'm sure Monte Moore gave you that impression when he told you about the scalpers. Seaver back and throws the fastball. Drilled down the left field line. May stay fair and bounces into the corner. Over Cleon Jones, and Rudy will go into second base with a stand-up double. Picking on a Tom Seaver fastball. Well, Seaver started out, Rudy, with a breaking pitch. Low and away, came back with the fastball, and Rudy drilled it for a double off the left field wall. Seaver said, I know the Oakland A's are a good fastball pitcher, and that's the way I'll go. Here's Sal Bando, 2 for 8 in the series. Has a triple and an RBI. Hit 288, with 29 home runs and 98 RBIs during the regular season. Seaver now pitching from the stretch, comes in with a breaking pitch. Swing and a miss by Bando. Seaver now has shown us 2 of his curveballs. No score, 1 out. We're at the top of the first of Game 3 of the World Series. 3,000 miles from where it all began, out in Oakland, California. Seaver ready, comes back with another breaking pitch, a curveball that stays inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sal Bando. Joe Rudy standing absolutely on the bag at second, now takes a few steps away. Hahn out in center field because Seaver's a fastball pitch is playing him over in right center. There's a foul tip at the plate. Bando is a pulled hitter, as his 29 home runs will attest, as his 98 RBIs would give you a good idea. And yet, Don Hahn is way over in right center, figuring against the power of Seaver. Bando is going to go the other way. The breeze that was here before him and then disappeared has sprung up again. It is blowing toward right field. Seaver standing on the mound now has a sign. Looks back to Rudy. Another breaking pitch, fouled past Irv Noren, the coach at third base. Jerry Adair is the coach over at first base. Defensively, Milner at first, Leon at second, Hells from the shortstop, Garrett at third, Cleon Jones out in left, Don Hahn in center, Rusty Staub out in right, Brody behind the plate. And Seaver out in front of Bando, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Twice he's had Bando swinging at breaking pitches, comes back with a fastball, just misses the outside corner. Brody pauses for the moment before firing it back to Tom Seaver. 2-2. It is an American League umpire, Newdecker, behind the plate tonight, and I'm sure you've heard the axiom that in the American League you get the high pitch for a strike, in the National you get the low. That was away. 2-2, fastball, foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jim Catfish Hunter, who won 21 ball games for the Oakland A's, will be the A's pitcher tonight, and what a masterful job he did in shutting out the Baltimore Orioles to win the American League Championship. Hunter is not the kind of pitcher that Seaver is. He does not try to overpower you, but hit the corner. Tom Seaver simply challenges you. And a 2-2 count. Comes in with a breaking pitch and strikes him out. Looks like the good slider from Tom Seaver strikes out Sal Bando. 2 out. And that'll bring up Reggie Jackson. Well, as Monte also indicated, Jackson's going to get a few boos because he said before the National League Championships, I hope Cincinnati wins it because I'd rather play the best than the Cincinnati Reds are the best. Well, Reggie Jackson tonight is going against the best pitcher, the best right-handed pitcher certainly in the National League. And some say the best right-handed pitcher they have ever seen. Tom Seaver won the earned run on average title this year for the third time in the last 4 years. Struck out more National League this year. Comes in with a fastball, and Jackson swings and misses. And his strikeout leadership also for the third time in the last 4 years. 2 out. We're in the top of the first of Game 3 of the World Series. Joe Rudy down at second base. With a line drive double on a Seaver fastball off the 341 mark out in left field. Seaver looks back to Rudy, comes in with another fastball, and swing and a miss again by Jackson. Seaver has thrown 2 fastballs right past Reggie Jackson. Jackson hitting .444 in the series, 4 for 9. All 4 of those in Sunday's second game. Led the American League in home runs and RBI. Made a superb catch to save the game on Saturday in Game 1. And now Neudecker steps out, calls time for the moment. They're playing Jackson strictly as a pull hitter. Leon way over around first base. Big gap past Seaver's left shoulder toward right center field. 2 strikes the count to Jackson. Comes back with a fastball. Strike 3 call. Seaver strikes out the last 2 under bases. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and Rudy left at second base. No score with the Mets about to come to bat. A play here at Shea Stadium, and Tom Seaver just threw the ball right by Sal Bando and Reggie Jackson with a man in scoring position. And now Jim Catfish Hunter, who, as Jim Simpson pointed out a moment ago, is not a power pitcher, but he's quick enough that he can throw the ball by some batters. Will go at the New York Mets. Catfish Hunter during the regular season was 12-2 at home, 9-3 on the road. But perhaps something we ought to look into is the fact that his earned run average on the road was 4.38, much different than his 2.51 at home. Not as effective on the road during the regular season. He'll face third baseman Wayne Garrett to lead off the last of the first inning. Garrett, left-handed batter, straight up stance, out in high, ball 1. Garrett hit .256 throughout the regular season, 16 home runs, 58 RBIs, and his only hit in the World Series thus far has been a home run in Sunday's game. 1 for 10. Drills this one deep toward right field, picking on a curveball, and it is gone. Home run. Mets lead 1-0. Jim Catfish Hunter, who has to make his pitches just right because he nibbles at the corners, made that one too good. A breaking ball that Garrett waited on and pulled into the mezzanine out in deep right field. It's 1-0, and Felix Leon, 1 for 10 in the series, right-handed batter, chokes up a great deal, takes a breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Tennis at first base, Green at second, Campaneris the shortstop, Bando at third, Rudy at left, Cleo in center, Reggie Jackson in right, and Ray Fosse catching Hunter, who comes back with a fastball that misses. It is 2-0. And Sal Bando, who is a real leader on this Oakland team, walks in a few steps to say something to Jim Catfish Hunter. 21-5 during the regular season. Leon waits with a 2-0 count and takes a fastball down low. It is 3-0. Hunter usually has pretty good control, less than 3 walks per ball game. Not a big strikeout man, less than 5 per game. But after the home run, upset, he has missed 3 times in the yawn, and now with a fastball at the knees, has strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike with Rusty Staub, injured in the final game of the National League playoff, out of the first game of the World Series, came back on Sunday, standing on deck. Hunter working very fast, comes back, line drive, past Bando, left field. And Leon has himself a base hit as Rudy picks it up in short left field and fires on to Green at second. Well, Jim Catfish Hunter has fooled no one thus far. Took something off that pitch, and Leon pulled it past Bando at third base, and that brings up Rusty Staub. 15 home runs during the regular season, 76 RBIs, and we're going to get some activity in the bullpen for the Oakland A's. Lou Moon Oldham up and throwing in a hurry as Staub, the left-hander, steps in. Breaking pitch fouled back. Well, Staub, before getting injured, had 3 home runs in the National League Championship. One to give Matlack on Sunday's game, the second game of the National League Championship, all the runs he needed. And then 2 in the first 2 innings of Game 3 to drive in 4 more runs, a total of 5 RBIs. 1-0 on Garrett's home run. We're in the last of the first. The Mets lead it, none out, and on at first. Mets are not a running ball club. Hunter looks over and throws a fastball that hits in front of the plate. Fosse picks it up on the first hop, and Staub yells down to me on, "Don't go." The Mets, who did not run throughout the season, have not attempted to steal a base thus far in the World Series. 1-1 strike to Staub. And always at Shea Stadium in New York, you will hear that undercurrent of tension and excitement of this capacity crowd. Rain came before the game, slackened about 15 minutes before the game. Absolutely clear skies now. Wind blowing toward right field, favoring Rusty Staub. There goes beyond. Ground ball to the hole. Past Campanella from the hit and run. Beyond goes on to third base and will stop there. Perfectly placed by Staub. Beyond running with the pitch. And now Catfish Hunter is in real trouble, and Dick Williams pops out of the dugout and across the foul line. Well, the A's have been saying they know that in New York, the Mets do something that they don't do all the time elsewhere. They don't lie down and play dead. The Mets come out playing aggressive baseball, satisfying their many fans. And Garrett's leadoff home run forced Hunter to go 3-0 to Mian. Then with a count of 3-1, threw him an off-speed pitch, and Mian drilled it to left field. Staub, with Mian running on the play, took a check swing and bounced it right past Campaneris, who was breaking to cover the bag at second. And here comes Cleon Jones with more base hits in the 1973 World Series than anybody else. He is 5 for 9 with a .556 average. In his last 17 games, he was the hottest thing the Mets had, hitting .323, 18 RBIs. Runners at the corners, 1 run in. Pitch kept as the outside corner, strike 1. Hunter against the Baltimore Orioles in Game 5 of the American League Championships was very sharp, especially keeping the ball lowered on the outside corner to the right-handed hitters. Hunter ready and back and throws. This bounces into the dirt away from Fosse. It'll lead 2-0 and scoring. It's Mian from third base. Staub goes to second. Hunter wild pitches home the second run. Well, Ken Boswell said it. He is a reserve infielder for the New York Mets. He said, it is not that the crowd inspires us to do more. It's what the crowd does to the opposition. It shakes them up. And Hunter has wild pitch home. Mian from third base. He gave up a home run to Garrett, but that's unusual for Hunter this year. During the regular season, he gave up 39 of them. 1-1 to Jones. There's an attempted bunt at the plate. It is foul. 1-2. Well, in the Oakland first, Campaneris fouled out to the catcher. Rudy drilled a double off the left field wall, but then Seaver struck out Bando swinging and Jackson looking. The Mets, nobody out yet. Garrett led off with a home run, his second of the series. Mian followed with a single. Staub singled into third. Hunter, wild pitch Mian home. It's 2-0 New York in the last of the first. Hunter looking back at Staub at second. Throws a breaking pitch. High and away. Fosse steps out and now holds up the ball and fires it back to Hunter. The ball's 2 strikes. On deck is John Milner. And overhead goes a blimp with the message, "Let's go Mets." Breaking pitch that does not break, stays inside. And it's 3-2 to Cleon Jones. Jones, a line drive type hitter, will hit to all fields. Had 11 home runs during the regular season and a home run on Sunday to the opposite field. They play him to hit to the opposite field. Hunter ready, comes back, and the ball is hit off the fifth, popped up, may be playable. Fossey comes back toward the screen and now watches it drift into the crowd about 8 rows deep, right by the screen behind home plate. Still 3-2. Odom standing around out in the bullpen. He was rushed out there, and there's no reason to believe that he will not continue to warm because Hunter has not looked effective. The pitches have been just too good, and the Mets have picked on them. From the stretch, Hunter throws ball, swing and a miss, and Jones strikes out. Hunter not supposed to be an overpowering pitcher, but as Monte Moore told you, he can blow it by you, and he threw it right by Cleon Jones there on a 3-2 count. John Milner, tall, lean, left-handed hitting first baseman, has hit more home runs this past season than any other left-handed hitter the Mets have ever had, 23. 4 for 10 in the series with an RBI, hitting .400. Hunter trying to get out of this first inning, throws him a pitch that's bounded right back to Hunter. He backhands it, drops the ball, and he's safe. Hunter took a look at Staub at second and forgot to hang on to the baseball. Now, Jim Catfish Hunter has lost his cool in the first inning. He is wild pitched in 1 run and now commits the error. Milner safe at first base. And that'll bring up Jerry Grody. Then at first and second with 1 out in the first. Odom still standing out in the bullpen in left field, staring in at Jim Catfish Hunter. Grody is the man on whom Reggie Jackson made a superb catch to save the game in Saturday's Game 1 of the World Series. Pitch misses on the outside corner. This is a fastball, ball 1. Don Hahn, who would be the 7th man to come up in the inning, swinging 2 bats on deck. The A's had 5 errors on Sunday, and they have 1 here in the first inning of Game 3. 6. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss by Grody. 1 ball, 1 strike, swinging at the Hunter curveball. Mets have 2 runs, trying to get off to a big inning. Hunter right back, down low with the fastball. 2-1. Well, we said it before. You give Tom Seaver a couple of runs. His run average was the best in the National League, and he is halfway home. However, Seaver has had his moments also. Hunter right now trying to pitch out of some of his. Breaking pitch, catches that outside corner. Good-looking breaking ball by Catfish Hunter. From that kind of pitch called by Jerry Dudecker, the umpire of the American League behind the plate, it gives Catfish the reputation of nibbling at the corner. If he gets the ball out over the plate, you get home runs by Garrett and singles by Millan and Staub. 2-2 the count. Comes back and strikes him out swinging. A high inside pitch to Grody, and he went down swinging. So now should Staub score from second base, all runs would be unearned. Hunter should be out of this, but he's the one that put himself in trouble. Matter of fact, he wild pitched in that second run. Here's Don Hahn, 1 for 9 in the series, hitting at 111. Right-handed batter punches this one toward left field, sinking line drive. Over comes Rudy and has it. And Jim Catfish Hunter is out of it after 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error and 2 men left. At the end of 1, the Mets lead the Oakland A's 2-0. Back at Shea Stadium in New York, Gene Tennis, the batter, swings and misses on the first pitch as he leads off the second inning. It's strike 1. Tom Seaver staked to a 2-0 lead. Right back with another fastball, grounded off and into the A's dugout. Tennis, the hero of last year's World Series. 1 for 6 in this World Series, but has drawn 3 bases on balls. He had 101 during the regular season, 4th best in the American League. Flag still blows out toward right field. Breaking pitch, and Tennis strikes out on 3 pitches. Got 2 fastballs and then a curveball, and Seaver has now struck out 3 men in a row. And the heart of the lineup, Sando, Jackson, and Tennis. Davalillo, who spent a great deal of his time in the National League, batting 6th tonight, playing center field, left-handed batter, will step in. And by the way, All of you listening on the American Forces Network in Europe, throughout South America, on FEN in Asia, and in Japan, we welcome you to Game 3 of the World Series from Shea Stadium in New York. Seaver throws a breaking pitch, a curveball that stays outside to Davalillo, ball one. Mets have their 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Oakland, no runs, 1 hit, a double by Rudy, and 1 error that did not hurt Catfish Hunter. His wild pitch did. 1-0 the count to Davalillo. Seaver comes back with the fastball. Outside, it is 2-0. On deck is the catcher, Ray Foxy. There is bunting hanging around the upper deck of Shea Stadium, and there are some signs out, but not as many as we normally see at Shea Stadium. There's a called strike. One sign says, Shea the A's. And, of course, there are many you gotta believe signs around. Seaver back with a fastball, a little outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Davalillo. Davalillo, who hit only 188 since joining the club in August, steps back in. Been playing some center field since Bill North has been injured. Seaver ready, throws him the fastball. He gets around on it, but pulls it to the right. Looks like Davalillo was guessing fastball then, because normally you will foul it away the other way down the left field line, but he was way out in front of that. Figuring, I would imagine, that Seaver was going to try to bust one by him. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Seaver ready to throw. Throws the fastball. This one is fouled off to the left. Tom, a Fresno, California man, where he was all everything in high school out there, now lives in Greenwich. In the World Series of 1969, he lost 4-1 at Baltimore, but then came back and pitched a 2-1 complete game in the 4th game here in New York. Back again, fastball catches the outside corner, and there's strikeout number 4 in a row. But Davalillo looking on a 3-2 fastball. And that'll bring up Foxy. Right-handed hitting catcher, former Cleveland property. Hit .256 throughout the season, but he is 0 for 8 in World Series play. Right-handed batter. Mets lead this 2-0 on 2 in the first inning, including a home run by Garrett, his 2nd of the series. Tom Seaver goes to work on the right-hander Foxy, throws him a curveball that drops in beautifully. Strike 1. Well, they say the A's scouting report says that Seaver can field. He can hit pretty good. He can throw the fastball faster, has a good curveball, good change, good slider, good hard curve. There's a fastball, and it's fouled off down the third base line and gets past the ball boy down there. Well, there are many things to be said about Chase, New York, and the Oakland Coliseum, pros and cons of those 2 different ballparks. The biggest one I can see, they've got lovely ball girls out in Oakland, California. A couple of young boys up here. 0-2. Oh, he missed with a breaking pitch. It gets under the glove of Brody. Rolls back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seaver started out Campaneris at the top of the first inning, getting into foul out to Grody. Rudy laced that fastball for a double off the left field wall, and since then it's been good night, folks. Bando struck out swinging, Jackson looking, Tennis swinging, and Davalillo looking. Comes back with another low and away breaking pitch that goes into the dirt. Eller of Cincinnati back in 1919 and Mo Drabowski back in 1966 struck out 6 in a row. That is the record for consecutive strikeouts in the World Series game. Fastball. And there is strikeout number 5 in a row. So Tom Seaver is taking dead aim on the record, and more importantly, he leads at the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 over Oakland. Right now, the story is Seaver. He has struck out 5 Oakland A's players in a row, and he has a super fastball and outstanding control of it. He's throwing a few breaking balls, but that's just sort of frosting on a cake once in a while. He is throwing the fastball by the A's batters as of right now. Brad Harrelson leads it off in the last of the second inning. Harrelson had quite a game Sunday. Hit the ball very hard his last 4 times at bat. One of them was a line drive to deep left. Wound up with 3 hits in his last 4 times at bat. He's 3 for 8 in the series. Has an RBI, hitting at .375. Elson finished the season strong, batting .333 here at Shea Stadium. Catfish Hunter throws him a fastball on the inside corner, waist high. It's strike one. Hunter initially got in trouble with a hanging curve that Garrett hit in the right field seats. That was the first run. There's a breaking pitch outside. Ball one. Then Leon followed with the single to left, stopped, punched the single past Campaneris, who went to cover second as Leon was running. He went to third. And Leon was wild pitched home by Catfish Hunter. Live, straight away, short center field. On comes Davalillo, and Jackson. Davalillo is there and has it for the first out of the Mets' second. Campaneris lost his hat on the way out, and so did Green. Well, here's Tom Seaver. He's won 20 games this year, if you include what he did in the National League Championships, but his regular season record, 19-10, but that dandy earned run average. And he led the National League in strikeouts with 253, and he struck out 5 in a row here tonight. Makes the fastball low and inside. Ball one. Seaver has been to bat, or was at bat, 6 times in the playoffs of the National League. Had 2 hits, both of them double. 1-0. Hunter throws a fastball down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitcher to pit ever in the minor leagues. Tom Seaver 1 year in the minor leagues. Their careers have been spent almost exclusively in the big time, and now in the World Series. Breaking pitch gets inside, and Hunter has lost his hat. 2-1. Garrett, who hit the home run in the top of the first, stands on deck. Well, that wind has really shifted around. Instead of blowing toward right field, is now blowing very hard toward left, favoring the right-handed hitters. Another fastball down the middle, and it's 2-2 to Seaver. That's called strike 2. It is a rather cool night here, and top coats to raincoats are very much in vogue. Down to the screen. Some people are bundled up. Those who are simply wearing sports jackets have warmer blood than we do. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Neither team has really made an announcement about tomorrow's pitchers. There's a lot of conjecture. We'll have it before we leave. Breaking pitch, pops up right side. Over comes Tennis. Over goes Fossey. Tennis near the... He goes into the photographer's box. Does he have it? He does. Right there is Paul Pryor, umpire of the National League, saying he got it as Tennis fell into the box, and the Mets fans give him quite a hand. Two out in the New York second. Now a 2-0 ball game, which the Mets lead. Here's Garrett. He really pulled a Hunter breaking pitch to get the Mets off to a flying start with his second home run of the World Series. Hunter admittedly has been pitching to the 8-9 men in the order, but his control has looked much better here in the second inning. This one is away from Garrett, ball one. He was throwing balls in the dirt, committed 1 wild pitch, and committed also an error in the top of the first inning. There's another drive, but he got around on this breaking pitch. Garrett pulled 1 for a home run and gets too far around on this one, puts it foul deep to right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrett may have won himself a third base job. Low and inside, 2-1 this year. The Mets have had a perennial search in their 12-year history of looking for a third baseman. They made all kinds of trades, good and bad. A lot of bad ones trying to find a third baseman. Garrett may have won the job. There's a pitch too low to him, 3-1. Since throwing that curveball that Garrett got around on and fouled it off, Hunter has come low and inside and then low and outside. Doesn't want to make the same mistake again and get that ball up where Garrett can pull it. And he throws this fastball right by him. 3-2. Temperature expected to drop into the high 40s tonight before the end of the game. And the wind is really blowing up dust now that causes Newdecker at home plate to call time as Garrett steps out. Breaking pitch outside, he has walked Garrett. First walk of the ball game with 2 out, and that'll bring up Leon. Leon, who committed the error in game number 1 that allowed the 2 unearned runs that defeated John Matlack and the New York Mets in game 1, has scored a run here, leading or following Garrett's home run with a single to left, and scoring on the wild pitch by Catfish Hunter. Staub walks out on deck. For those of you who have not seen Felix Leon, he crouches very low and nearly goes halfway up on the bat, choking it. Strikes out very seldom, nearly always makes contact. Good man to use the hit and run on, and this is fouled to the screen. High known plate, strike 1. Dick Green at second base, hugging himself for the cold, now gets ready as Hunter is ready to throw. Ball drilled right, foul, down the right field line. 2. Russ Getz, the American League umpire at second base, looks like he is standing on a windy street corner, lifting up one foot, putting the other down, hugging himself. And here's Mr. Getz has to stay up there for at least another 2 hours. 0-2. Hunter ready, throws the fastball, bounded foul on the third base line, hits off the boxes and off the glove of the ball boy down there. Still 0-2 as Garrett retreats to first base. Mets lead it by 2 in the last of the second. You know, of course, that Baltimore won the first game of the '69 series. New York took the second on the road and then came back here, and the Mets took 3 in a row. Well, Oakland took the first game of the '73, New York the second, and now they're back here. Well, they're running with Leon swinging. Garrett was not trying to steal. That is simply Felix Leon's great control of the bat, trying to hit and run. That worked so successfully with Leon doing the running and Staub hitting the ball to left field back in the first inning. Yogi Berra does not try to steal too many times, but that's the second time tonight he has tried to hit and run. And that's something with a 2-strike count on the batter. They think that much of it. 0-2 the count, not going this time, up high with the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We will have games 2 and 3 tomorrow night from New York. Question is, do we go back to the coast for games Saturday and or Sunday? Little line drive at Campanella Six by second base. To get him out of trouble, no runs, no hits, no errors, and Garrett left at first. They've gone to the first 2. New York leads it 2-0.
As the Oakland A's bat in the top half of the third inning, it'll be up to Dick Green as to whether or not Tom Seaver ties an all-time World Series record of striking out 6 in a row. He's been throwing so far tonight, and the way that wind is blowing, the colder it's getting, these batters are going to have a few bees in the hands when it's all over if he keeps throwing this hard.
Dick Green struck out 4 times, make that 2 times, only batted twice in game number 2 and 1 time in game number 1. Downs this ball, so there'll be no record. Third baseman Getz was on to first and there's 1 out. So the record very quickly goes by the board. Didn't even get a chance to say that it was Green who was batted for. Early in the ball game Sunday, that set up the Kubiak replacement. Kubiak was batted for. That set up the Mike Andrews replacement at second base. The 2 errors that allowed the 3 runs. The subsequent squabble over Andrews. Was he fired or is he really hurt? And the commissioner's office denying the A's the chance to use anyone else to fill in for Andrews and ordering that he be in uniform, which he is not. Here's Catfish Hunter. First time up in this year's World Series. 227 lifetime average, but during the regular season batted only 1 and singled. Takes a good cut at a Seaver fastball, strike 1. At the end of the season, Dick Williams wanting his 20-game winners to get some batting practice, anticipating this kind of situation in the World Series, let them bat. There's a swinging strike 2. And Hunter had a base hit in his only time at bat. Stevens allowed 1 hit, struck out 5, comes back with a fastball that just does miss outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The wind continues to swirl. We'll just say that it's blowing in Shea Stadium. Direction changes. Breaking pitch, hit out towards center field. Over comes Don Hahn, in a little bit, and has it. Hunter's a pretty good hitter. Seaver was out in front of him. Hunter got around on it. Line at the center.
A year before last, when Catfish Hunter negotiated his contract with Charlie Finley, he got so much money, I believe it was $50,000 for pitching and $5,000 for hitting.
Here is Campaneris, who fouled out first inning and waves at a Seaver sweeping curveball. Strike one. Complete athletes in baseball among its pitchers. He can swing the bat, he can throw, and he can feel his position. Strike one pitch from Seaver throws him another curve. This is low and away. Seaver has done a masterful job spotting that curve. The one base hit by Rudy was off a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Comes back with the fastball, and Campaneris never had a chance. Ball was in Grody's glove as Campy was starting around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mets have their 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Oakland, no runs, 1 hit, and a harmless error. Tom Seaver throws another fastball line to right field on a bounce between Milner and Leon, and was base hit for Campaneris. Just did get his bat on a Seaver fastball and hit it the other way. And that'll bring up Rudy, who has the only other hit against Seaver, the double off the left field wall. Bando walks out on deck as Rudy prepares to step in. Rudy, the right-handed batter. Jackson and Davalillo, the only left-handers in the lineup against the right-handed Tom Seaver. Seaver ready and throws. It's down low, blocked by Grody. Ball 1. Rudy is now 4 for 9 in this year's World Series, including tonight. Has home run power. Fastball grounded toward Helson at shortstop. Picks it up, goes on to the on at second base for the 4th, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the last of the 3rd. Seaver, the Mets, still nursing that 2-0 lead over Oakland.
No runs. They've had 2 hits so far off Tom Seaver. Now as Catfish Hunter gets ready to go to work to Rusty Staub again, here is Jim Simpson.
Rusty Staub, who perfectly bounced the single past Campaneris, who was racing to cover second base as Leon was running, sending Leon on a hit and run to third base from where he scored on the wild pitch, steps in and swings at the fastball, strike 1. Staub was in the batter's box. Decker, the American League umpire, was dusting off the plate. We noticed so anxious was he in the second game of the series on Sunday out in Oakland that as Leon came on deck, so did Rusty Staub as Garrett was batting. 1 strike to Staub, the left-handed batter. Hits this one off the fifth down the left field line. Over very quickly is Rudy, drifting forward and in fair territory, the left field line, and almost tripped and fell out there. I don't know that that is one of the pockmarked places that some of the Mets fans here after the championship game dug up or not, or just a bad spot in the outfield. But nevertheless, Rudy almost lost his footing. Staub is out number 1. Here's Cleon Jones. Hunter had a 3-2 count on him and blew a fastball right by it. They're striking out in the New York 1st. Jones, right-handed hitter, and again we'll tell you they plan to hit to right. He sprays to all fields. Down ball toward Bando, takes it on the second hop at third base, goes on to first base, and that's 2 outs. Jones swinging on the first pitch, and that'll bring up Milner, who grounded weakly back to Hunter in the first inning. But Catfish dropped the ball, and Milner was safe on the error. Since the base hit by Staub, the 3rd man up in the first inning, Milner has reached on an error. Garrett has been walked, and that's it. The first 3 men got base hits, and since then, none has a base hit for the Mets, who lead 2-0. Inside pitch, making Milner back out and bend over. Strike 1. Fastball from Hunter. Milner doesn't hit for average, but does hit for power. Another fastball at the knees for a strike. And someday, John, who is only 23 years old, might be a pretty good hitter for average also. Hunter ready. Fastball is too high. Again, we're in the 3rd inning, the last of the 3rd, with 2 outs. The short score, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for New York, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Oakland. Hunter. Jim Seaver throws a breaking pitch that stays outside. It's 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to John Milner. But Jerry Grody on deck. Fastball misses low and away. And Hunter has walked his second man. And that'll bring up Brody, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Brody went for what looked to be a high inside pitch, pulled very badly, and struck out. Cool weather in New York. 10% chance of rain, they said, and for those of you who have been with us from the outset know that it did rain before game time for about 10 minutes. They had the tarpaulin on, and then about 8:20 New York time, they took it off, and we got started nearly on schedule shortly after 8:30. Fastball, line foul just by third base. Bando not guarding the line this early in the ball game, well off the bag, and that ball curved across the bag and went down the left field line foul. Strike one to Jerry. Don Hahn swings the bat on deck. Milner, a very small lead off at first base, being held there by Gene Tennis. Pitch is a breaking pitch outside, like the Hunter slider. Had trouble with the slider. Monte Moore can tell us more about that after he broke his thumb in the All-Star game. 1-1. Now a check at first base. Hunter checking over to first base. Milner only stole one base all year. Mets haven't tried to steal it all, but of course they have been hitting and running a lot. 2 out here. 1 ball, 1 strike. A breaking pitch that's too low. Bossy asked Neudecker, did he go around? They looked down to first base. And Paul Pryor said he went around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, how often have you seen a catcher appeal to the home plate umpire to ask the first base umpire and the first base home plate umpire? That's what happened. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Hunter checks over to first base. One and two. From the stretch. Catfish Hunter throws a fastball that's fouled over our head. Speaking of Paul Pryor, who made that call from first base, this is his second World Series. His first was in 1967. And when they went from St. Louis up to Boston, where he was to open behind home plate, the first time ever behind home plate in the World Series, his clothes got lost. And he was the biggest man on the crew. He had someone's pants that didn't get to his ankles, someone else's hat, blown away. He had a ragtag type uniform, and he said, how embarrassing to be the home plate umpire for the first time in my major league umpiring career and wearing sets of 3 different uniforms, none of which were mine. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brody. Mets lead it by 2 in the last of the third. Hunter ready, takes something off this pitch. It's bounded toward Campanellis, who charges and now throws to second base. As almost an afterthought. Could have gone to first base. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 3, the New York Mets lead the Oakland A's 2-0. Third baseman Sal Bando, number 6. Sal Bando, right-handed hitting third baseman, who struck out on the slider back in the first inning, steps in against Seaver and sees the slider go low and away. Ball 1. 2-0, New York, as we began the Oakland 4th inning. Game 3 of the World Series. Tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on the air with game number 4. Seaver ready and throws the fastball that is too low. I would imagine Monte Moore. It'll be Ken Holtzman for the A's, and we're guessing Matt Lack for New York.
Definitely will be a Holtzman. Some people sit around here today, they thought Stone might start, but we'll find out.
Drive toward left field. Over goes Cleon Jones, chasing it down near the line and has the line drive. Bando is out. That'll bring up Reggie Jackson, who struck out looking at a fastball at the knees to end the first inning. Well, I know, Monte, as we were discussing, Rube Walker, the pitching coach for the New York Mets, likes to go with a 5. Well, I know, Monte, as we were discussing, Rube Walker, the pitching coach for the New York Mets, likes to go with a 5-man rotation, 4 days rest. And during the regular season, it's proved to be an exceptional method of pitching, and the Mets had great success with it. But in the World Series, he might just go off that for a moment and go with his best at Matlack, who did not go all the way in game number 1, remember. Jackson fouls the first one off. Out of play. Matlack in the first game worked 6 innings. Gave up 2 unearned runs and only 3 hits. And if the Mets should have their 2-0 lead held on to tonight, Yogi Berra might be sniffing a real advantage by starting his best pitcher of the last month, John Matlack, tomorrow night. 1 strike to Reggie Jackson. Jackson 4 for 10 in the series. This ball hits the plate. Ball 1. Has a double, has a triple, has driven in 2 runs. And at this moment, the wind favors strictly Jackson, blowing toward right field. Tom Seaver, the right-hander, throws a breaking pitch, strike. Oh, he has used that curveball when least expected. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Count of 0-2, and he went with a breaking pitch. You know the man's going to be guarding the plate on that one. Another breaking pitch and struck him out swinging. Strikeout number 6. Seaver had 5 in a row through the second inning. Hasn't struck out anybody until Jackson here in the 4th. That's 6 of them. And here's Gene Tennis, who struck out swinging at a curveball on the second. Seaver set him up beautifully. 2 fastballs for a strike and then struck him out with a curve. Mets lead this by 2 in the top of the 4th. Seaver fastball outside to Gene Tennis. Ball 1. Throwing again, the fastball stays inside, 2-0. Seaver, in his last game that he pitched, was the clinching game last Wednesday for the National League Championship. 7-2 over Cincinnati. Swing and a miss by Tennis. Goes to 8 in the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 1 strike for Gene Tennis. Only 26 years old, hero of last year's World Series. Afterwards, he said he wound up with virtually no endorsement. Anything like that, the ball is down low. 3 balls, 1 strike. In return to have a good year with 24 home runs and 84 RBIs playing all of this year. Another fastball, and Tennis draws his 4th walk of the World Series, the first given up by Seaver. And we'll recall again, he was 4th in the American League in drawing walks during the regular season. Dick Davalillo, who was struck out looking at a fastball on the 3-2 count of the second, comes up. Seaver has given up a double to Rudy, a single to Campaneris, and has walked Tennis. That's it in 3 2/3 innings. The Mets got their runs in a hurry with a home run and 2 base hits and a wild pitch. The first 3 men up in their half of the first inning. Fastball, strike to Davalillo. Seaver, to repeat, the power-type pitcher. He goes right after the batter. Right back, change of pace. Brody out in front of the plate with a little ground ball. Throws it wide off first base. And Davalillo, at great speed from the left side, beats it out.
Give that Milner save what might have been a run right there. I don't know how the ball bounces out in that right field area, but he left the bag and left his feet and really made a fine stop of a hard throw that could very well have been going a long, long ways. And Rusty Staub was over right at the foul line.
Throwing error on Brody. Tennis goes to second base. And now, because of Seaver's walk and the throwing error by Brody on the little bounder, slowly rolls to the left of the mound. That puts Seaver in trouble, and Fosse, who struck out swinging at a fastball to end the second, ready to step in. Ray Fosse is 0 for 9 in World Series play. Comes up now. As for the second time in this ballgame, the A's have a man as far as second base. Rudy was there with 1 out, but Jackson struck out to end the first. The Mets fans, realizing that Seaver could be in a bit of trouble here, look for him to work to Ray Foskey. From the stretch, Tom Seaver throws fastball. Sounded back over the head of Seaver. In comes Harrelson. Goes on to first base. He's got him in a close play. Foskey goes after the first base umpire, Paul Pryor, and now walks away. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 left. We go to the last of the fourth. It's 2-0, New York. All right, Monte, a change here. After reviewing the situation in the press box, the official scores have said no error for Grody on the throw. The Davalillo beat it out, and therefore score that is a base hit. And therefore, in the fourth inning, it should be no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, and 2 left. Figuring that the throw was wide, but Davalillo had the throw beaten. 2-0, New York, as we begin the Mets fourth. Don Hahn, who lined to Rudy in left field to end the first inning, steps in, right-handed batter with a closed stance to face Jim Catfish Hunter. Hunter throws, ground ball. That's inside the bag at third base. Sando, hands on hips, watches it go into the left field corner as Hahn goes to second base with a double. That's the fourth base hit, and the first since the first inning when the first 3 men got base hits. Sando was really disgusted with himself. Figured he should have reacted to that ball better, but sharply hit inside the third base line. That'll bring up Harrelson, who sent a fly ball to short center field back in the second. Now let us see how Yogi Berra plays this with Tom Seaver on deck. Harrelson steps down to look to Eddie Yost. Sando in on the grass at third base, just off the grass. Infield coming in. All of them charging. The bunt is laid down the third base line, foul. Lindblad and Odom now throwing. Odom has been up the right-hander. Lindblad the left-hander. And Monte, so many times you're the Oakland A's broadcaster. If you watch the Oakland A's, not knowing how most people will try a bunting playing defensively, the Oakland A's will surprise you.
Yes, they have a lot of trick plays they work, and of course, there was one that didn't work the other day in the game in Oakland where Sal Bando charged. They have a whole series of plays here where either the second baseman will charge. Ordinarily, it's Bando charging and Campaneris going over to cover third.
Alton, switch hitter, choked up on the bat. Bando in on the grass. They're still looking for the bunt. Fastball inside. He did not offer at it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Harrelson. Obvious now, at least in the early going, they may change as Yost switches the signals back and forth to Harrelson, who looks down to him at third base. If they're trying to get Hahn over to third base, let Seaver with a ground ball or fly ball or base hit to get him in. And, of course, Garrett would also have an opportunity. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hunter ready. Almost hit him. Down low and inside. 2-1. Well, as a rule of thumb, if you know a man is going to bunt, the one thing you like to do is to keep the ball up so he will pop it up. The lower you get it, the easier it is for him to bunt it along the ground and make the play good. That ball was low and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hahn leading off at second base. There's the pitch, and he was swinging on this one, and maybe that's what Hunter thought he might do last time. Fouls it off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now with 2 strikes, Harrison most likely will be swinging away, and he may have turned something or pulled something not serious as he swung very hard at that ball. Steps out, bends over for a moment, now steps back in. Mets lead it by 2, trying to make it 3. On a ready, the fastball pops up, foul out of play behind home plate. Still 2-2. Tom Seaver, jacket over his shoulder, kneels on deck. Harold stands right up to that plate. Hunter ready, throws the 2-2, hits this one off the fist toward right field. Back goes Jackson, short right field. Hahn at second base, tagging, and Jackson's got quite an arm as he fires it all the way to third base on the line. And draws the cries and oohs and ahs of admiration from the partisan Met fans. That'll bring up Tom Seaver. Seaver fouled out to Tennis, who fell into a photographer's box to make the play in the second inning. 0 for 1 in World Series play. Had a couple of doubles in the playoffs. Lindblad and Odom continue to throw out on the Oakland bullpen. Seaver bats right-handed as he throws and swings and waves at a breaking off-speed pitch. Strike one. Mets have their 2 runs on 4 hits, including Garrett's homer. The A's have yet to score, have had 3 hits and committed 1 error. Hunter glancing back at second in the home, now throws, and Seaver swings and misses with a high fastball. 2 strikes. Wayne Garrett, who led off the Mets first inning with a home run, stands on deck. 0-2 the count to Seaver with 1 out and Hahn at second. Now the fastball down too low, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Monte turned around to Jerry Neudecker at the American League as though that might have been a strike. Down the right field line is Augie Donatelli, who made the call on Harrelson in the game on Sunday out in Oakland. When he was introduced tonight, the Mets fans gave him a big boo. 1-2, and that's foul to the 3. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Our ball game just a little bit more than an hour old. We are in the last of the 4th. On a chilly night in New York. And what's more, it's supposed to be colder tomorrow night. 1-2. Temperature dipping into the 40s. Breaking pitch, strike 3 called. 3rd strikeout as Seaver looks at a curveball. On a 1-2 count. And that'll bring up Garrett, who hit a Hunter curveball for a home run in the 1st and then drew a walk in the 2nd. And very quickly, Wes Stock, the pitching coach, comes out to talk to Catfish Hunter.
Just a little reminder, I'm sure, Jim has had a lot of trouble this year with the leadoff men. In this league, a little fellow named Al Bumbry of Baltimore, who hit something like only 7 home runs all year, hit 4 of them off Hunter, and he's a leadoff man for Baltimore. Freddie Pochak of the Kansas City Royals, a little bitty guy, hit home runs off him. And here's Garrett, who's not all that small and has a pretty good home run hitting reputation, and they know where he likes the ball, and they're going to walk him right here and fix him beyond. I think they put it up to Hunter, Jim.
And Hunter, who gave up the home run and then walked Garrett, obviously said as there's outside ball 1 because, as you'll recall, Monte, in the 2nd inning, Garrett served up another hanging Hunter curveball, and he drilled that one deep but foul in right field. So after a home run that was for real, and a ball hit so hard as to upset him, Hunter's decided to get rid of Garrett and stick him on first base. There's ball 3. That'll be men on first and second with 2 out. And the right-handed Mian coming up. Garrett, of course, also is a left-handed swinger. Mian, it's right-handed. There's ball 4. Not only that, Mian is not known for power the way he chokes up. 3rd walk given up by Jim Catfish Hunter. Here comes Mian, who singled and scored on a wild pitch and sent a soft line drive to Campaneris near second base. 1 for 2. They play Felix the other way in the outfield. Around to the right. Staub stands on deck. Hunter has elected the pitch to be on and now begins to go to work. I'll play at second base. Not in time. As a matter of fact, the ball was on the first base side of second base, and Green had to stick his glove back toward first base as he went into second. Hunter looking, Hahn dancing off second base, throws the fastball, it's foul, deep to left. That's strike 1. Well, I'll tell you something. Bud Harrelson's not supposed to have power. Jerry Grote's not supposed to have that kind of power. And Mian doesn't have that much power, but Harrelson has nearly hit a home run on 1 occasion, and has sent outfielders very deep on others. Grote sent Jackson to the farthest part of left center field to haul in his drive on Saturday. And Mian just got around on that ball. Now he pops this one up. This also, I believe, will be out of play. Fonzie comes back toward the screen. It lands on the screen and will roll down from there. 0-2 to Felix Mian. Mian very difficult to strike out. And he did a superb job the year for the Mets. Just 9 errors, but a very costly one on Saturday in Game 1 of the World Series when he let a ball go right through his legs. As he said later, I simply did not get down to the ball. 2 runs scored. That's all the A's needed. Hunter throws, ground ball toward Bando. Tough play, off into third base, goes into foul territory. A hop really came up to Bando there, who is going to his right toward the line. Bases are loaded, and that will bring up the left-handed swinger, Rusty Staub. The official scores have not yet. Well, now they say it is a hit. Just now flashed. Very tough chance for Bando at third base. That's the fifth hit off Catfish Hunter. Bando walks over toward Hunter. Lazan at third. Garrett at second. Miano at first, and Rusty Staub. 1 for 2 tonight. The top man in RBIs in the Flex and in the regular season. At the plate. Mets lead it 2-0. Looking for the big hit from Rusty Staub. Catfish Hunter goes to work, throws him a fastball, grounded right back to Hunter. Hunter throws on to first base, and Staub is a very easy out on the first pitch. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. At the end of 4, the Mets 2, the A's 0.
This is Monte Moore with Jim Simpson. As Dick Green is about ready to bat here in the top half of the 5th inning, the Mets have 5 hits, the A's have 3. But as we said, the Mets lead where it counts on the scoreboard 2-0. Jim?
Well, we can tell where the A's fans are, Monty. They're behind third base because your little pep band, the Swingers, were just standing on back of the dugout of the A's along the third base line playing, and they were getting applause from A's fans and a good round of boos from the majority, the Mets fans.
I think they were overwhelmed.
Green rounded to third base back in the third inning. And takes ball 1 from Tom Seaver as he leads off the top of the 5th. Green 0 for 5 in the World Series. They made a dandy defensive play in game number 1. Seaver throws him another fastball. It's fouled off to the right and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oakland has 3 base hits. New York has 5, 1 of which is a home run, but 2 of which are infield hits. One fielded by Grody, the other by Bando. The 1-1 pitch from Tom Seaver. Fastball, foul to get off to the right. As Green couldn't get his bat around on that good Tom Seaver fastball. Well, in the last 7 years, no league has repeated as world champion. I didn't say no team. I said no league. It has alternated every year. The A's would like to win it the 2nd time in a row for themselves and the American League. Wind continues to swirl. There's a 1-2 pitch. It's a curveball, swing and a miss. And Tom Seaver has recorded strikeout number 7. Getting Green on a curveball. At Green, Seaver would have tied a World Series record for consecutive strikeouts with 6. Jim Hunter, behind on the count for Seaver in the 3rd inning, nevertheless got Goodwood on the ball and lined to center field. 0 for 1 in World Series play this year. Seaver goes to work with a fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Mets lead it 2-0. Both runs coming, and they're half of the 1st. Seaver coming right back with a curveball, swing and a miss, strike 2. I guess the word would be Seaver uses his curveball judiciously. But he has not been hurt with it. He's been very effective with it. Another one, foul tipped off the bat. Back to the screen, it's 0-2. That time, Hunter looked like he was simply trying to protect the plate. Curve was way outside. Swung and foul tipped it. Now, the swirling wind has swirled some dust or dirt into the right eye of Hunter and stepped out for a moment to wipe it away. Now back in, Seaver ready. Throws him the fastball, just misses the outside corner. Seaver has been yelling in at Neudecker on several occasions tonight, thinking he's had those corners. 1-2. Not taking any time at all. Another fastball, foul to the screen. Good Seaver fastball and a good rip by Jim Catfish Hunter. 1-2. Well, in the continuing story of Russ Getz, the second base umpire, he has now gone to the outfield and is still walking around like he's very cold. Low and away. Curveball. We are rather comfortable in the booth, but his temperature's at least in the 40s outside. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 for Tom Seaver. They go back to the top of the lineup. And Campaneris, who fouled out in the first and drilled a Seaver fastball the other way past Milner's face, 1 for 2, comes to bat. Mets lead it 2-0. We're at the top of the fifth. Game number 3. We will at least have 4 and 5 here in New York. Perhaps we'll have to go back to Oakland. Fastball is up high. Gordy fired the ball back. It went off the heel of the glove of Seaver and rolled out towards second base. Ball 1. They will announce the attendance. It's got to be 53 or more thousand. Another fastball. That one got the corner. Campaneris now looks back at Newdecker. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Seaver really threw that ball. Now he gives him a breaking pitch, which he fouls back. 1-2. Tom Seaver never tries to change his game unless when he warms up he finds that he doesn't have the kind of stuff that he thought he would. Then he'll go more to breaking pitches. But tonight he must have known from the outset the fastball was with him for tonight. 1-2. He is not allowed to run. Catfish Hunter has been most effective himself since that first inning. Fouled again off to the right. In that first inning, the home run by Garrett, the back-to-back singles by Millan, and the wild pitch that brought Millan home. And since then, that's been it. Nobody has scored. 1-2. Campaneris waits. Breaking pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seaver into the windup and throws now. Breaking pitch that strikes him out. He has struck out the side. Strikeout number 9 as Tom Seaver strikes out the side. We go to the last of the fifth. New York leads 2-0. Monte Stadium, Jim Simpson with Monte Moore. And in the last of the fifth, Catfish Hunter will go through the middle of that lineup for the New York Mets. Cleon Jones, John Milner, and Jerry Grody. Hunter in trouble in the first when Garrett hit a curveball for a home run. Beyond and stopped, the back-to-back singles, and then the wild pitch and scored beyond. Since that time, with one exception in the last inning, when there was an infield hit on an intentional walk, when Hunter loaded the bases with 2 outs, Catfish has not been in trouble. He trails 2-0, last of the fifth, and for the second half of the ball game, here again is Monte Moore.
Thank you, Jimmy. Joe Rudy, out in left field, is playing Cleon Jones very deep. Here's Hunter's first pitch, and it's a curve in there for a call strike. Jones had 7 home runs in the last 10 games the Mets played this year. He really was on a hitting tear at the time they needed him the most. Hunter throws a ball by him in the outside corner, swinging strike 2. You can survive first inning troubles against some pitchers, but a guy like Seaver who's really got it tonight, when you get behind by 2 to him early, the bouncing ball to Hunter near that he's got this one, throws the first for the out. 1 away. Hunter ordinarily a very, very fine fielding pitcher. As Jim said a little while ago, a complete athlete. But early in this game, though he got out of it without it hurting him, he did drop a ball. Hit back to him. It was John Milner, who's at the plate now, who hit it. The A's play Milner strictly as a pull hitter, and Hunter misses inside at high, ball 1. Oakland playing this series without their regular center fielder for the year, a very sensational young player by the name of Billy North. Breaking ball hits the knees for a call, strike 1-1 on Milner. One pitch. Long drive to right field. He got all of that one. It is off the fence. Holds him to a single. Milner hit one just below the orange line in right field, and Jackson played it perfectly. A long drive by Milner that just missed the foul pole area. Well, that's got to be one of the hard hit singles of the year right there. Now here's Jerry Grody. Well, Jackson has had 2 plays to make in the outfield tonight, and he's made one strong throw. He played this pitch, drive off the wall perfectly, and didn't even have to throw it back in to hold the man. Here goes the runner. The pitch swung on and hit up in the air. A little looper in the left. Joe Rudy will get it, and Milner goes back to first. Two down in inning number 5, and the batter now is Don Hahn, who really crossed up the A's by hitting one inside the bag at third for a double his last time up. The A's outfield has been playing him well over into right center and very shallow the whole series. Pitching him out there, but Hunter let go an inside pitch, and Hahn ripped it. Milner draws the throw at first. It's a very short lead he has there. Mets lead 2-0. They've had 6 hits. Fastball outside to Hahn. It's 1-0. Ray Foster, the A's catcher who wears contact lenses, just asked for time at the plate, and if he's having to adjust one of them or something blowing his eye or what. Back to play. Hunter sticks to the plate. High fly ball to left field. Not very deep. Rudy coming in, and he's riding right with it. He's got it. And that's all for the Mets here in the 5th inning. The score after 5 innings of play, the Mets 2 and the A's nothing.
Garrett led off the Mets first inning with a home run. Neon stopped singled, and Neon was wild pitched home by pitcher Catfish Hunter, and that's been it as far as the scoring is concerned. As far as pitching is concerned, Tom Seaver has looked incredibly fast tonight, has struck out 9, shut out the powerful A's with only 3 hits. But it's the 6th inning, and Rudy to lead it off, followed by Bando and Jackson. The A's, as the game moves on, hope to make a move against Tom Seaver. Here's Monte Moore.
Joe Rudy, who had one of the A's hits and the most solid of the bunch, a line drive off the wall and left in the 1st inning, comes on for the 3rd time tonight. It'll be interesting to have the A's compare Tom Seaver and Jim Palmer after this thing is all over. The pitch, long drive to right center field. That ball is tagged pretty well. Hahn is at the fence and leaping. He's got it. Don Hahn with a leaping catch just short of the right center field fence, 396 feet away. It wasn't a spectacular catch. The ball really didn't get quite to the fence, but it would have if he hadn't have caught it. He leaped just short of the wall by about 3 feet, but I'll tell you, Joe Rudy put a charge in that one. Rudy's been the A's best hitter for the past 3 weeks, and he has hit a couple of balls like rockets here tonight off Seaver. 1 out. Here's Sal Bando. Pitch to Sal is a curve, and once in a while, I've noticed tonight, the only one Seaver's really missed badly with is once in a while that curveball will snap off way, way outside and in the dirt. That's when he's trying to get a little extra on it. Joe Rudy with excellent power to right center field just came within about 5 feet of hitting one out of here. Bando takes the whisker duster inside and high. Seaver started him off with a curve, hoping to get him leaning, and then busted one by him on the inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Bando fouls it off. The A's team captain Sal Bando, who struck out in the 1st inning and lined out to left in the 4th. 2-1 pitch. Low with a fastball. It's 3-1. It's only the 2nd batter he's been behind in the game. He walked Gene Tennis. And now he's at 3-1 on Bando. Fastball hit deep in the center field. Hahn's on the move again. He turned the wrong way. It's over his head and off the fence. Sal Bando is on his way to second with a stand-up double. Don Hahn, the center fielder, turned the wrong way on that drive. It was to his left, and he turned to his right. But he wouldn't have caught it anyway, and that's 2 shots in a row hit by right-handed batters to start the 6th inning. And now Reggie Jackson comes up, and if he gets hold of one, it could be tied up in a hurry. Jackson has struck out twice in this ball game. And the Mets fans start to buzz a little bit as the A's power has come up a little bit here in the sixth. Reggie Jackson, the American League home run champion, stands at the plate, gets the curve, and it's a snapping curve for a called strike on the knees. 0-1. Boy, Seaver's really worked on him. You can tell the great pitchers when they know they have a challenge at that plate. There's no sameness to their pitching. They mix it up, and they throw the best they've got. The pitch to Jackson, curve again, strike in the outside corner. Reggie Jackson is yelling at Jerry Neudecker, the home plate umpire. Well, it's like the train that comes by every day at about the same time. You know it's coming. Jackson has seen 2 curveballs in a row now, and he almost got a feel that the Express is going to be here just any minute. Seaver starts to get ready, and Jackson isn't ready, so they call time. Boy, the good pitchers like to stay ahead of the good hitters, and Seaver's been ahead of Jackson all night. The 0-2 pitch. That's Farley, struck him out. Swinging, strike 3. And that's that Express we were talking about. Strikeout number 10 for Tom Seaver. And he has paid Reggie Jackson 3 times tonight. Now here's Gene Tennis, who also has good power. There are 4 men in a row in the middle of the A's lineup who can hit the ball out of the park. Rudy, Bando, Jackson, and Tennis. Curveball to Tennis is a beauty. Called strike 1. Seaver gets set. Here's the pitch. Fastball line to left field. It's hooking and goes fair into the corner. Here's Sal Bendo coming in to score, and Gene Tennis goes to second with a double. It's a 2-1 ball game, and the A's have really teed off on Tom Seaver here in this inning. Jim, it's amazing how that ball will go down that left field line here and look as if it's going to hook, and it just falls. It's diving out there tonight at the foul line. The A's are a base hit away from tying the ball game now, and here's Vic Davalillo, a late-season acquisition by the A's from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oakland purchased him to be a pinch hitter. He holds the Major League record for most pinch hits in a season. 1971 with the St. Louis Cardinals, he set that record. The pitch to him, the curveball line to the second baseman, Millan, who's played him perfectly, and he throws him out at first. A big play by Millan, and that's the scouting report out right there. He played Davalillo to throw the ball, and he throws it sharply right at him. Oakland gets a run on 2 hits, a man left on, and the score in the middle of the 6th is 2-1, the Mets lead.
New York Mets got their 2 runs in the first before anybody was out, and the Oakland A's have waited until 2 were out in the 6th inning before they got their first. It's last of the 6th and Monte Moore.
Freddie Harrelson has been a spark plug of a player for the Mets. Is 0 for 2 in this ball game, batting left-handed. He's a switch hitter. Hunter comes to the plate with a breaking ball and misses low and inside. Harrelson likes to walk. He'll go up and take that first ball a lot of times, and is a good base on balls man. Hunter throws a strike with Harrelson taking all the way. The difference in this ballgame right now is a wild pitched home run in the first inning. It's the only wild pitch that Hunter has issued this year with a man at third base. Harrelson rips one right up the middle, a base hit. Bud Harrelson continues to harass the A's, both in the field and at the plate. That was a line drive right back through the box, and now Oakland. Captain Sal Bando goes in to talk to Jim Hunter, and the reason he's going in now is to set up a defense against Tom Seaver, who's coming up. Oakland showed in the first game of the World Series that they charge their second baseman with a pitcher at the plate once in a while. The A's bullpen goes to work. Darrell Knowles and Raleigh fingers. Here's a pitch, bunted foul. And Bando is charging hard from third base. Tennis hard from first. Now Bando goes in to talk to Hunter again. Early in the game, for long relievers, it was Lindblad and John Odom. But now we're in the last half of the 6th inning, and the short relievers, Knowles and Fingers, are up. Harrelson off first. Seaver at the plate. Here's a pitch. He takes a strike. And now will the Mets bunt with 2 strikes on Tom Seaver. Bando with another message to Jim Hunter. Last year in the World Series, 6 of the 7 games were low-scoring, 1-run ball games. We've had 1 2-1 game already in this series. The pitch is bunted foul by Seaver. That's the strikeout. Number 4 for Jim Hunter. 1 out, back to the top of the batting order, and here is Wayne Garrett, and Hunter threw a home run ball to him in the first inning and has walked him twice since. Wayne's brother Adrian was in the Oakland A's organization for a while, a couple of years back. Got up and didn't get a whole lot of at-bats with the A's, and eventually went to the Chicago Cubs, where he played this year. Harrelson off first. Here's a pitch. It's popped foul out of play. Garrett turns around at the plate rather disgusted-like. I think he feels that he got his pitch right there. Look for Oakland to do some pinch hitting in the 7th inning. They have Fosse, Green, and Hunter due to bat. See Jesus Salou running around in the Oakland dugout. Darren Johnson has a bat in his hand. And Alan Lewis has a helmet in his hand, which means they're hoping somebody can get on and he'll run. Here's a pitch, swinging, strike 2. Catfish challenged Garrett that time and got it by him. Two to 1. The Mets are leading the A's. Hunter to the plate again, up high, a ball. Games here in New York the next couple of nights. One ball, 2 strike pitch. Curveball fouled away. Boy, Garrett is a very aggressive hitter at that plate. We're in the last half of the 6th inning. Mets lead the A's 2 to 1. The Mets have 7 hits, Oakland 5. There's been 1 home run in the game. Garrett had it. There have been for very close. Fosse giving an inside target. The pitch up high. Ball 2. The Oakland A's have an outfield of Joe Rudy in left, Vic Davalillo in center, and Reggie Jackson in right. They're swung around to the right. Hunter's pitch. Curve, strike 3 called. He hit the outside corner, and Newdecker's consistent. He's giving both pitches. Are both pitchers that same pitch tonight? There are 2 down. That's 5 strikeouts for Hunter, 10 for Seaver. And now here's Felix Millan. He's had 2 hits tonight, both singles, and he lined out to Campaneris his other time up. Have a man at first for the Mets, Bud Harrelson, who led off the inning with a single. Hunter's pitch, line drive, left center field. They're going to have to go to get this one. Davalillo on the run. He's got it. Vic Davalillo playing Millan in right center field. Had to turn on the gas, and the little veteran just ran the ball down and caught it on the dead run. For the Mets in the 6th, no runs, 1 hit. They left a man, and the score is 2 to 1 New York.
More as we go to the Oakland 7th, and Monte was exactly right. Both Pat Burke, former Chicago Cub, now big, strong, hitting first baseman for the Oakland A's, comes out to swing a bat, and Jesus Salou is in the on-deck circle, which means that Fosse and Green will be batted for. It's 2 to 1 New York. They got Goodwood on the ball in the 6th. Rudy hitting the ball deep to center field. Bando doubling. And Tennis doubling him home. The A's and the pinch hitters go to work, and so does Monte.
Pat Burke joined the A's late in the season in a trade with the Chicago Cubs for last year's pinch hitting star for the A's in the World Series, Gonzalo Marquez. Here's the first pitch to Burke, and it's a fastball strike on the outside. 2 home runs for the A's, one of them off Nolan Ryan in Anaheim. Another very hard-throwing right-hander. Tom Seaver winds up the pitch to Burke. Curveball. It's over but low. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mets 2 and the A's 1. The Mets got 2 in the first, and Seaver's hung on since. The pitch to Burke. Fastball just missing outside. It's 2-1. And he's really trying to keep that ball away from this big left-hander. Burke checked in about the size of a small linebacker in football. It was about 225, 230 maybe in weight. The A's have some power on the bench. They'll use Burke and Alou and probably Darren Johnson. 2-1 pitch. Inside. Seaver is screaming at the plate umpire. It's 3 balls and 1 strike on Burke. He changed his pattern a little that time. He'd been going outside on Burke and tried to blow it from the inside. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 call. Burke hasn't had a swing yet. It's a full count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Mets infielders guarding the foul lines at first and third. The pitch. High foul ball off third into the stands. One big noticeable difference in this ballpark and the one in Oakland. The stands come out to within a few feet of the foul lines here at Shea Stadium, whereas in New York, the Oakland Coliseum stadium is like 120, 140 feet from the foul line. 3-2 pitch. Burke hits the fly ball to right field, and it's pretty deep, but Staub is back on the warning track, reaching up and picking it off. He didn't get all of that one. So Pat Burke is out number 1 here in the 7th inning, and now Jesus Alou comes on. Alou in this series, 3 hits and 9 at-bats. He hit .306 for the A's after he was picked up from the Houston Astros.
Number 22, Jesus Alou.
Well, the A's have had the Met outfielders doing a little running in the last couple of innings, and the Met bullpen goes to work now. Darren Johnson is out on deck as a possible pinch hitter for Jim Hunter. Jesus Alou, one of 3 Alou brothers to have played with the Oakland A's in the last 3 years. Felipe was the first. Last year in the World Series, Matty Alou, and now Jesus. Seaver winding. Here's a pitch. Foul ball out of play. Strike 1. You really have to work at walking Jesus Alou. Harry Parker, a right-hander for the Mets, is in the bullpen. And Ray Sadecki, a left-hander. Here's a pitch to Alou. Curveball, bounce on the ground, deep shortstop to Bud Harrelson. He's got a good arm, and he shows it off by throwing him out. 2 up, 2 down. Seaver has eliminated 2 of the A's top pinch hitters, and now here is the man who was the A's designated hitter this year and did quite a job. Darren Johnson for Oakland. He drove in 81 runs for the A's, hit 19 home runs, and played the last 5 weeks of the season with a bone chip in his hand. 5 weeks of the season with a bone chip in his hand, and it was hurting him so badly he could hardly grip a bat. He was a very strong candidate to knock in 100 runs if he hadn't been hurt. But Darren Johnson bats for Catfish Hunter in the 7th inning with the Mets leading 2-1. Seaver's pitch. Fastball outside. Seaver working quickly, comes to the plate with a curve and misses with it. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Johnson pinch hit in Sunday's long game out in Oakland and got a double off the wall in left center field. He's 1 for 1 in the World Series. This, after 17 years in pro baseball, is his first World Series appearance. In there, a called strike. Darren took one right down the middle that time on 2-0. It is now 2-1. Seaver winding, kicking. Fastball thrown right by him, swinging, strike 2. Tom Seaver, the ace of the Mets. Working with a 2-1 lead, throws to the plate. Strike 3 call. Johnson takes the fastball, and Seaver cuts down 3 A's pinch hitters here in the 7th inning. The score of the Mets 2 and the A's 1.
Green, who was batted for by Alou, is out of the game, and Ted Kubiak is now at second base. And of course, Darren Johnson looked at a 3rd called strike, batting for Catfish Hunter, and that has brought on Darrell Knowles to do the pitching. Knowles, who had to sit out Last year's World Series, because of a bad hand, has been in both games thus far and has an absolute perfect record, except he did commit a throwing error. Other than that, no runs, no hits, and no walks, and also no strikeouts. So the left-hander will be facing Staub, Jones, and Milner. Two of those three are left-handed. It's 2-1 in the seventh. The Mets got both of their runs in the first on the Garrett home run, back-to-back singles by Leon and Staub and a wild pitch. And, of course, Kenneth doubled in Bando in the sixth to make it 2-1. Here's one.
Rusty Staub going for the first Gerald Knowles pitch. A slider out away from him is fouled off. It's strike one. Rusty Staub hit a bouncer through the left side of the Oakland A's infield in the first inning that led to what now is the lead run of the game. Knowles comes inside on Rusty and misses it. Here's a ball and a strike. Gerald Knowles appeared in 52 games this year. His ERA 3.09. He's been in the major leagues for 9 years. Most of that time spent with losing teams, Washington and Philadelphia. Staub fouls the pitch away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Knowles is 31 years old. He's from Brunswick, Missouri. He has averaged pitching in over 50 games a year for 8 years. That's a lot of work for a little guy. His greatest pitching effort this year was as a surprise starter at Fenway Park in Boston. He won a game 1-0 going all the way. Staub fooled on a breaking ball, just dragged it foul off the first base line. Staub, Jones, and Milner will bat for New York here in the 7th inning. Staub still letting go of the bat with one hand. He's got a very sore shoulder. Nose to the plate. In the dirt, a ball. Pat Burt stays in the game and plays first base for Oakland. Ted Kubiak at second. Gene Tennis now behind the plate. Fastball inside. That one had Staub, but it missed the plate. Rusty was leaning a little bit, and Knowles just missed that inside corner, and Gene Tennis is arguing with the plate umpire, Jerry Neudecker. And this Met crowd is starting to say, let's go Mets. Little wind gust blows up here, and Staub backs off the plate. Rusty Staub's home runs in the playoffs were off left-handers of Cincinnati, Gullett, and Grimsley. 3-2 pitch. Little fly ball to left field. Joe Rudy came in. Now he's going back, and he's got it. And Staub hasn't pulled the ball tonight. One down in the 7th inning, and here's Cleon Jones.
Left fielder Cleon Jones, number 21.
Well, you hate to see the great stars, Jim, not be 100% healthy, and Rusty Staub is certainly not 100%, but he's given 100% effort here.
Well, Staub, of course, I think they took great solace from the fact that he singled the last time up out in Oakland. He's got an important base hit tonight, but as you said, he's not swinging the bat like he used to.
Jones hitting a sharp grounder to Campanella. He eats it up and throws over to first for the out. 2 out, 7th inning, and here's John Milner, who hit a line drive just below the orange line, 341 feet away from home plate into the right field corner of Shea Stadium. Reggie Jackson played it perfectly and held him to a long, hard-hit single. That was in the 5th inning. He drove in 72 runs with a .239 average this year for the Mets. Knowles missing outside, ball 1. Catfish Hunter tonight pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs and 7 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Very fine performance. They were looking for a pitcher's battle here tonight with Hunter against Seaver, and so far it has been Seaver overpowering with 11 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch. Missing high, ball 2. Tomorrow night, 2 left-handers who started the series out in Oakland. Matlack for the Mets, Holtzman for the A's. Knowles behind 2-0. Swinging strike. Boy, he had a good cut right there. Milner's not a big guy like you might expect a home run hitter to be, but Very wiry. Gene Tennis hangs out a sign. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Sidearm sinkers inside, goes to the backstop off the mid of Tennis. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. The 8th inning, the A's will have the top of their batting order up again. Campaneris, Rudy, and Bando. And if anybody gets on, Reggie Jackson. The A's leveled about 4 line drives in the 6th inning, 2 for doubles. Here's a pitch. Strike. Called. A beautiful pitch from Knowles. Knowles is all the way on the red. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. He lost him, ball 4. And Knowles walks the left-handed batter, and now has got a pitch to a right-hander who can hit the ball out of the park.
Catcher, Brody, number 15.
Brody struck out and bounced into a force out and flied to left. The Mets have 7 hits. The A's have 5. There's been 1 error in the game. That was by the pitcher and had no consequence in the scoring. Gary Grody, the Met catcher, cocks the bat. Knowles comes to the plate, and it's low for ball 1. In playing the Mets, the pitchers don't have to worry about holding runners on all that closely because they just don't try to steal. But the pressure is on the second baseman for Oakland, who calls the coverage on running plays. Foul ball upstairs. Twice the Mets in this series have hit the ball through the infield. Tonight, Rusty Staub, who has not been pulling the ball at all, was at the plate, and the A's coverage called for Campaneris, the shortstop, to cover second base, and Staub hit it right through there. So those calls sometimes are very important. Knowles looking to the plate, throwing to first. He has one of the best moves in the American League. But he didn't catch Milner, who was only off just a step or 2. Paul Lindblad has joined Raleigh Fingers in the Oakland bullpen. There's a bouncing ball to shortstop. Campaneris has got it. Throws over to second. Kubiak takes the fourth play on Milner to retire the side. After 7 innings in New York, it's the Mets 2 and the A's 1.
Number 3 of the World Series, the Mets lead it 2-1, getting both of their runs in the first inning. Came up with their 1 run of the 6th. Tom Seaver to face the top of the batting order. Campaneris, Rudy, and Bando.
And here's the first pitch to Campaneris, hit on the ground to left field. The A's little road runner is on, and in a 1-run ball game, that's the one man Seaver wanted off the bases the most. But there he is, perched on first base. Campaneris, who's led the American League in stolen bases 5 of the last 6 years, stole 34 for the A's this year, 3 in the playoffs, and 2 so far in the World Series. And the Met bullpen crew goes to work, headed by left-hander Tug McGraw. Joe Rudy, the batter for Oakland, in the top half of the 8th inning, and he has hit the ball more consistently hard than any other A's player tonight. He's doubled to left, and he hit one to the wall in right center that was caught in the 6th inning. Campy, big lead off first, drawing a throw from Seaver. Harry Parker, a right-hander, has joined Tug McGraw, a lefty, for New York in the bullpen. Mets leading 2-1. Joe Rudy digs in. Wayne Garrett is hugging the foul line at third. Big lead for Campaneris. He's not going. The curveball is off in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Grody seems to be a very fine catcher as far as getting rid of the ball. He's made a strong throw to second in the series twice. And he didn't show any fear at all with Campaneris on calling that curveball then, and he dug it right out of the dirt, and Cappy wasn't going. Grody, a fine catcher. Campaneris off first base. Here's the pitch to Rudy. Strike at the knees. A good fastball from Seaver. Seaver wants that ball down here. He needs the ground ball. He'd like to get 2 and 1. Mets giving up some ground to the left. of the third baseman, Garrett, as he's trying to protect against the extra base hit. And in giving up that ground, Campaneris got on by hitting one through that hole. Seaver, easy throw over to first base, just reminding Campaneris he knows he's still there. Seaver drops down slowly to the waist. There goes Campaneris. The pitch is taken. Grote's throw to second is not in time. He steals it. What a throw that was. It was right on the bag. Campy Campaneris steals second base. And that one was really close, I'll tell you. Grote stepped right out in front of the plate and gunned one to second. The tag was made. It looked to be made a little behind the bag, maybe, or on top of it. Let's see it as we look at it on a television replay here, Jim.
Well, the way it looks for me, and we'll look at it again here, Monte, looks like the call might have gone the A's way, because there's the tag. We're looking at it awfully close.
It looks like from this angle he got his right foot in. From the other angle, it looked like they had his left leg tagged before he got there.
The important thing is he's there.
And Joe Rudy's job now is to move him over. Here's the pitch. Rudy slants it to right field. Campaneris rounding second. He's coming in to score the tying run of the ball game. Joe Rudy shot one on the ground right by the first baseman, and Campaneris scores the tying run of the game with nobody down. Well, last year, Jim, in the World Series, there was a very important play at second base involving a Cincinnati Reds player. And all the replays showed that Campaneris missed the tag on him. The umpire called him out. They're going to be looking this replay over from different angles many times, trying to decide whether or not umpire Russ Getz at second base made the correct call on Campaneris, because it was a big one. Now here's Sal Bando. Nobody out. Eighth inning. Rudy on first. Bando's going to bunt, and it's foul off the first base line. Bando hit a long double in the sixth inning. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Tom Seaver with a 2-0 lead from the first inning. Gave up the leadoff single, and then Campaneris stole base. Pitch to Bando again. He's going to bunt, and it's a hard bunt to the first baseman. No play at second. He didn't even look. He throws the first for the out, and Jerry Grote, the mid-catcher, is flinging his mask around in disgust. A left-handed throwing first baseman, Milner, I believe he had a play at second. He didn't even look at second base, and the ball was punted very hard. And now Yogi Berra goes to the mound as Reggie Jackson comes up. Jim, what do you think?
Well, I think we've had two controversial plays, one by a player, one by an umpire. The umpire, of course, as you called it, is Russ Getz of the American League down at second base. We looked at the television monitor in our booth as they showed that from 3 different angles. On one angle, you could say that Campy Campaneris was safe. Now, in the American League, they're on the outfield side at second base, and that's the angle that showed that Campaneris could have been safe. Looking down from first base or from behind home plate, it looked like he was out. A close play. And then on the bunt slice, the Milner at first base, as Monte described, he could have had and might have had Rudy going into second base, but never looked that way. Simply threw on to beyond at first base, sacrifice complete. The go-ahead run with one out is on at second base here in the eighth. Tom Terrific is in trouble as Reggie Jackson, who has struck out 3 times, steps in.
Seaver gets set. Here's the pitch to Jackson. High fly ball, left center field, not deep at all. Joe Rudy holds on at second as Don Hahn puts Reggie Jackson away. Seaver elected to pitch to Jackson. Yogi Berra went to the mound and obviously asked him, what do you think? First base is open. Should we pitch to him or not? He did, and he got him again. So he has handled Reggie Jackson 4 times tonight. Now here's Gene Tennis, who has struck out, walked, and doubled. Joe Rudy in scoring position at second base. We're in the top half of inning number 8, a great pitcher's battle. Tom Seaver against Jim Fish Hunter, who has gone. The pitch to Tennis, curve, strike, gets caught. Tennis ripped a double right down the line in left field in the 6th inning to knock home Oakland's first run. Seaver sets and throws. Another curve to Tennis is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seaver looks at Rudy. Throws to the plate. Curveball, swinging, strike two, and he has thrown Gene Tennis 3 big breaking pitches in a row. Boy, that last one was really a breaking ball that just snapped over that outside corner. Seaver grabs the ball. He's set. He throws. Swinging, strike three. He poured it right by him. A great fastball by Seaver. His 12th strikeout of the ball game, and it leaves the go-ahead run at second base. So the score in the middle of the 8th inning is Oakland 2 and New York 2.
Now, Tom Seaver was never in trouble at all, with the exception of a 2-out walk and infield single in the 4th inning until the 6th, when the Oakland A's went to work, and on a double by Bando and another by Tennis, made it 2-1. And then, of course, at the top of the 8th inning, Campaneris, the man they wanted off the base, got a single, stole second, and Joe Rudy drove him home. And it's 2-2, and Seaver has been reached. And now it is Knowles against Seaver. And in the last of the 8th, it's Hahn, Harrelson, and Seaver. And here's Monte.
Don Hahn got a double in the 4th inning. Darrell Knowles' first pitch to Hahn is low and outside, ball 1. Now the Met crowd gets into the act as everybody predicted they would. And it's a great crowd here in New York tonight. Probably around 55,000. The pitch on the way. Bouncing ball to deep short. Campaneris has got it. His throw to first is there in time. A little bit on the inside of the bag, but Pat Burke took it. So 1 up, 1 down, and that brings up Bud Harrelson. He'll turn around and bat from the right side now. He's 1 for tonight.
Shortstop, Bud Harrelson, number 3.
In a pitcher's battle like this, who makes the first mistake? Now Harrelson is being called back over to the on-deck area and is talking with Tom Seaver. I don't know what that conversation could be, so you get on, I'll knock you in, you reckon? Bud Harrelson, whose home is right in the Bay Area, just a few miles away from the home of the Oakland A's. He lives in Hayward, California. He's ready now. Here's a pitch from Knowles, and it is a strike call. Oakland third baseman Sal Bando playing very close to the bag at third and close to the foul line. Ditto for the big first baseman, Pat Burke. Knowles pitch to the plate. High fly ball off third base. Campaneris is going back. Joe Rudy's coming in. It's going to be Rudy making the catch. He's got it. Campaneris has a tremendous range out of the shortstop, going left or right. A big collision in a game in Oakland in the Baltimore series between him and an outfielder. Now they're 2 down, and Tom Seaver is due to bat, and they're going to pinch hit for him. So both aces are out of the game, Jim.
And Jim Beecham, a fine pinch hitter for the New York Mets, is going to come on against the left-hander Darrell Knowles. Beecham has been up twice before in the World Series and has failed to hit. Beecham, as the Mets go to their bench. Tom Seaver began to run in trouble late, giving up the tying run in the 8th inning. Those of you will remember that in the first game of the playoffs in Cincinnati, when he was matched against Jack Billingham, Seaver weakened only in the late innings, gave up the 2 long balls to Pete Rose and Johnny Bench, the 2 home runs that beat him. And now I'll turn to Yogi Fields, or Tom Seaver feels that it's time for him to get out. And with 2 out and nobody on, they've gone to a pinch hitter for Tom Seaver.
And they have their left-hander in the bullpen. Tug McGraw is the only man left throwing, isn't it? Or is that Sadecki? It is Sadecki in the bullpen. Beecham. Ready at the plate. Here's a pitch. Swinging. Strike 1. Knowles turned a fastball over on him. Beecham, Bonita, Oklahoma product. For the year at 279. Score is the New York Mets 2, the Oakland A's 2. Knowles missed it outside a ball. Beecham is not a home run hitting type, though he's a big guy. He did not hit a home run for the Mets during the year. In the World Series so far, he is 0 for 2. Nose winding. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike. One of the secrets of Darrell Knowles' success is to get the batters to go for bad pitches, and Beecham just chased that sinking fastball that looked to be out of the strike zone from here. Nose to the plate again. It's up high this time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Oakland infield after the changes now has Bando at third, Campaneris at short, Kubiak at second, and Pat Burke is at first with Gene Tennis moving behind the plate. The A's have 3 men left on the bench, Canigliaro, Mangual, and Lewis. They're playing with only 23 men tonight. 2-2 pitch. High fly ball to left field. Joe Rudy's moving over. Lots of time and lots of room. He's got it. So we go to the top half of the 9th inning, and we may be in a 1-inning ball game now. It's the A's 2 and the Mets 2.
Out 12 and walk 1.
Number 33.
Now, Tug McGraw, the man to whom you called about a month ago and said, listen, it is up to you to win or lose. Lieutenant and my job. McGraw is not coming on to pitch, but rather Ray Sadecki is coming on. Sadecki has been in 1 game, pitched an inning and 2/3, struck out 3, allowed no walks, and walked nobody. In 31 games this year, 10 of which were starts, he was 5-4 with an home run average of 3.38. Well, why not Tug McGraw? Well, McGraw went 6 innings in relief on Sunday afternoon, started the 7th, and they got to him in a hurry. And last night, as the New York Mets arrived from the West Coast, reporters asked McGraw how he felt. He said, I feel completely exhausted, but if they want me to go, I will go tonight. McGraw, a short man, is not being called on to come on to the 9th inning here to face Davalillo, Burke, and Kubiak. He is a left-hander, as is, of course, McGraw. And it has been the impetus lately, the momentum of the Oakland A's, who were down 2-0 since the very first of the New York Mets, but have now tied it up in the 8th, and now they go to the 9th. And, of course, the A's know they would love to get ahead in the 9th, because when you get to the last of the inning here in New York, any Mets run can be the end of the ball game and the end of World Series Game 3. Davalillo to lead it off against Sadecki, left-handed to left-handed. Here's Monte.
And the streak continues in World Series play. No pitcher pitched a complete game in the series last year, and nobody has yet this year. Here's Vic Davalillo, who's hit very little against left-hand pitching this year. Ray Sadecki throws sidearm and misses outside, ball 1. Davalillo pulls off that plate. He bails out, as you call it. Runs down that line, and a tough little out. Gives the pitcher a tough strike zone because he's moving. Sadecki popping to the plate again. Line drive off the glove of Mian and out into right field. That might be a base hit. Vic Davalillo, the little pro who came through in such magnificent fashion for the Oakland A's in the playoffs against Baltimore, one hard off the glove of Mian.
Number 38.
That has a good chance of being a base hit. The scorers are working on it right now. They have 3 official scorers in World Series games. Pat Burke is the man up now for the Oakland A's. They have given a base hit to Davalillo on the ball. Garrett looking for the bunt. The pitch is taken outside by Burke. In order to move Davalillo down, he's almost going to have to bunt the ball to the first base side, because Wayne Garrett, the Met third baseman, is going to be right up in Burke's face by the time the pitch gets to the plate. Davalillo off first. Here's the pitch. Burke bunts it, foul off the first base line. Now they've called it an error on Mian. His second error of the series. He made only 9 for the entire season. Pat Burke at the plate with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Ray Sadecki set. Here's the pitch. Burke takes outside. That Grody comes out of that catcher's box like a sprinter off the starting block. Ray Sadecki, who's been with the Mets since 1970. He was also with the Giants a long time. He was with the St. Louis Cardinals originally, and there a long time. 2-1 pitch. Bunted hard. between the mound and first base. Nobody's covering first. Pat Burke has got it in field, base hit. Pat Burke, a heavyweight first baseman for the A's, bunted the ball perfectly in the crack. He got it past the mound. He had the first baseman, Milner, coming in for it. The second baseman, Millan, going over to cover, and he went right in the middle of them, and now Oakland will have a pinch runner. Alan Lewis will go in to run for Pat Burke at first base. 2 on and nobody down.
Alan Lewis.
And Harry Parker and Tug McGraw are at it in the Mets bullpen. As Ted Kubiak, one of the fine utility infielders in the American League, comes to the plate. He's a switch hitter. He'll be batting right-handed here. But, Jim, I haven't seen the Mets that much. Do they pull any kind of trick plays on coverage or anything like that?
No, the New York Mets play things pretty straight. They wait for the big inning offensively. On defense, they seldom do that, but Yogi Berra's going to come out. The one thing I noticed, Monte, and we can check after the game, but it was just an observation. Parker and McGraw, who have been warming and are still warming now, were kind of bookends to Sadecki, who really did not throw that much down in the bullpen. It was kind of an afterthought to get Ray Sadecki going. They did give an error to Millan, but that was a hard smash off the bat of Davalillo that bounded off his glove and out into the outfield. And then, of course, mixed up in their infield there with nobody covered first base on the bunt. And so now Kubiak is coming up, and apparently they're going to go to the bullpen. Rusty Staub is walking off the field. For a while.
Left-hander. Here comes McGraw.
Guess who? Well, we were wondering why he did not come in. Berra went to Sadecki. And not all of the trouble with none out is of Sadecki's doing. The error by Millan certainly is not. Although there was a mix-up on the play on the bunt. Nobody, meaning second baseman Millan, or Sadecki covered first as Milner fielded the ball. And so here we are, the New York Mets, who are in command behind Tom Seaver all the way, getting their 2 runs in the first inning on a home run by Wayne Garrett, back-to-back singles by Millan and Staub, and a wild pitch by the Oakland setter, Catfish Hunter. All the way in charge, that is, until the 6th, when doubles by Bando and Tennis made it 2-1, and then the 8th, when Campanella singled, stole second, and the close play was driven home by Rudy to make it 2-2. They decided in the last of the 8th with 2 out and none on to bat for Tom Seaver. They brought on Sadecki. 2 men have gone up. 1 on an error, 1 on a none out. The fans go wild for Tug McGraw. Now, Joe Rudy has set a series record of 7 put out for a left field in the 9-inning game. Which, of course, will just be a bit of trivia, because the fact remains the game can be won or lost right here in the 9th inning. And Tug McGraw, as so often happens, is the man called on. As we told you, Yogi Berra told him about 4 to 6 weeks before the season was over, look, I'm going to give you the ball. I'm going to call for you in all of the big situations. You're going to win the pennant for me, or the Mets and I are going to go down. And during the Mets' final 24 games, McGraw allowed only 2 earned runs and 31 in the 3rd inning. And that stretch he registered 10 saves, and he also won 4. Now, McGraw in the 10-7 game on Sunday afternoon started the 6th and worked 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, 7 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 1. It was not a superior start, and he later got in trouble in the 12th when he gave up a triple to Jackson and walked tennis, and that was the end of him there. As we said, he said, I'm exhausted, but I'll be ready tonight if they need me. Now, he's been in both of the previous games and worked 8 innings, the total that Tom Seaver worked tonight. And overall, he has won 1 and lost none, given up 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, and non-strikeouts. And a season record. And you got to remember that Tug McGraw was not at all effective in the early going. He was one of the big disappointments for the Mets, and that plus all of the disabled players is one of the reasons why the Mets at All-Star time were in last place. His earned run average even now is 3.86. So you know what kind of closing part of the season he had to bring it down to 3.86. But he did save 25 ball games. So as they play the Scottish jig for Tug McGraw, they're back to action. Kubiak, the switch hitter, stepping in. Then it's going to have none out in a 2-2 ball game in the 9th. Here's what
All right, the Met first baseman, Milner, is going to be playing very shallow. The third baseman, Garrett, is shallow. The shortstop, Harrelson, playing right on top of the bag at second. Nobody's at short at all. The pitch to Kubiak, bunted out and fouled off. McGraw gets off that mound in a hurry. It's going to be his job to cover the third base line here. In order for Kubiak to move Davalillo up, he's going to have to bunt it hard enough that the third baseman, Garrett, fields the ball. He's going to have to get it past the pitcher because Davalillo is really being held. There's nobody at shortstop at all. Harrelson is playing right on the bag at second. McGraw gets set. One strike pitch to Kubiak, taken inside a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. This is where the skill really comes in. You've got to be very skillful to be able to bunt a ball through this kind of defense. The A's 2 runs on 8 hits. The Mets 2 runs on 7 hits. We're in the top of the ninth. Nobody out. 2 runners on. McGraw gets set. Here's the pitch to the plate. Bunted, foul, strike 2. Kubiak has gotten 2 slow curveballs to bunt and bunted both of them foul. Now let's see if Harrelson loosens up a bit at shortstop. With 2 strikes on the batter, Ted Kubiak. Angel Mangual is already out on deck to pinch hit for Darrell Noel. McGraw out of the bullpen for the 3rd time in 3 games. Throws to the plate. Kubiak takes high a ball. He was going to bunt again. Kubiak, ordinarily a very good bunter. The pressure is on right now in World Series competition. Davalillo at second. Alan Lewis at first. Nobody down. McGraw sets the pitch on the way. Kubiak bunts it to the mound. He throws to third base. There's a force play on Davalillo. Ted Kubiak bunted the ball on 1 hop right straight to the pitcher, Tug McGraw, and they got the big out. Davalillo forced at third base, and it wasn't even close. Now, here is Angel Mangual coming on to pinch hit for Darrell Noel. I can see one reason they brought McGraw in. He fields that mound, and he does it well. Angel Mangual, 0 for 2 in the World Series, had a big base hit for Oakland and won game number 3 last year in Oakland. It was either the last of the 9th or the last of the 10th inning last year when he won that game, but it was a very dramatic base hit. And now here he is in the top of the 9th, 1 out, 2 runners on. He's batting for Darrell Noel with Alan Lewis at second, Ted Kubiak at first. Mangual, a right-handed batter who played very little for Oakland this year. McGraw off the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. He threw a fastball right by him. McGraw's big pitch is a screwball. But he started Mangual off with a hummer. Mangual had 1 base hit in the playoffs and none so far in the World Series. He had 3 home runs for Oakland this year. McGraw at the belt. Here's the pitch. Fouled away, strike 2. Angel Mangual had a good cut at that letter-high fastball. And the miracle man of the match, Tug McGraw, who says you got to believe, has got to be saying it to himself right now. In a dramatic 6 innings of work in Oakland on Sunday, he won that longest game in World Series history. Now Mangual behind in the count 0-2. Gets ready at the plate. McGraw takes his foot off the rubber and looks Alan Lewis back in at second base. Tied up 2-2. Oakland and New York. Infielders in a normal double play position. McGraw set. He throws. Strike 3 tall. Right down the middle it comes. Angel Mangual takes a called 3rd strike right down the middle. Boy, McGraw really fooled him with that one. And now it's all up to Bert Campaneris of the Oakland A's. The A's got a break, 2 of them in a row to start this 9th inning. But the inability to bunt and move a man up has really put the pressure on. Now McGraw strikes out Manuel, and here is Bert Campaneris, who's had 2 hits in this game already. This jam-packed crowd at Shea Stadium in New York, ready to go wild if McGraw gets Campaneris out. The Mets play Campy straight up. The left-hander off the stretch. Throws to the plate. Screwball swung on and fouled off the third base line. The A's are getting Paul Lindblad ready in the bullpen. He will be the next pitcher for Oakland. McGraw in relief of Sadecki, who spelled Tom Seaver. Campy Campaneris. Tough little clutch ball player. Digs in at the plate. McGraw to the plate. Low with a fastball. It's 1-1. He is not overpowering, but he can throw the fastball by you. Now he's set to work again. He delivers. Screwball swung on and missed. Strike 2. Doug McGraw ahead of Bert Campaneris with a go-ahead run in scoring position at second base. A Met miracle worker at work in the middle of the diamond with 55,000 fans screaming, here comes the pitch. It almost hit him. A fastball backed him off the plate. It's 2-2. McGraw takes his sign from Grody. Takes his foot off the rubber. He wants to sign again. The 2 strikes to Campaneris were on Screwball. This could be the ball game right here. Campy backs off. This is what it's all about in the game of baseball. Good pitcher, good hitter, and a clutch situation. All right, McGraw set. He pitches. Inside, ball 3. McGraw down to one knee, and this is a count he didn't want to get to. The runners will be going now with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. So the runners get the extra jump on the count. McGraw at the stretch. Around comes the arm. Here's the pitch. Screwball popped up straightaway center field, and the Met fans rise in unison. Don Hahn has got it, and Chuck McGraw does it out of the bullpen again. Fantastic pressure pitching by Chuck McGraw. And we go to the last of the ninth. The Mets have a chance to win it. It's tied up 2-2.
Jim Simpson with Monte Moore. Paul Lindblad, who pitched the 3 batters Sunday. 2 got on Mike Andrews' error. He is not with the ball club anymore. The A's are playing with only 23 men. He retired one of theirs on the mound now. Manuel, who pinch hits, stays in the ball game, goes to center field. Vic Davalillo comes on to first base, and Lindblad is the pitcher. Last of the night, 2-2, leadoff batter. Garrett to face Lindblad. Here's Monte.
And the first pitch is swung on and blitzed up in the air right out behind third. Bert Campaneris, the shortstop of Oakland, streaks over to the foul line and picks it off. Boy, what a pressure cooker to come into, Jim. Paul Lindblad out of the bullpen, and the crowd yelling, go get him, men. 55,000 strong as he gets out of the mound. And this is one of the toughest situations for a pitcher. He comes into a game with a chance to be a losing pitcher, never having had a chance to have been a winner. But he got the first batter in Garrett. Here is Felix Millan. Millan has singled twice and lined out hard twice. Once to short, once to center. Lindblad's pitch, a strike call. Paul Lindblad, 31 years old, is home. Now is made in Arlington, Texas. But he's from Emporia, Kansas. Lindy's pitch to Millan is outside the ball. Lindblad appeared in 36 games for the A's this year, 33 in relief. 7 years in the major leagues. He's pitched in 374 ball games before this year, and he's the major league record holder in most games appeared in by a pitcher without making an error. Fastball swung on and fouled down, and it hit the A's catcher, Gene Tennis, and knocked him over.
Tennis still down, Monte, and as he goes down, we're reminded what we've been keeping track of. Billy Canigliaro is the only other man aside from pitchers that are available to the Oakland A's. If Tennis is out of there, they're in a real problem because they now must take Tennis out. Canigliaro is the only man that's going to be able to come in, and they'd have to go to someone else to do the catching. And let's go back to the Mike Andrews two-error situation in Sunday's second game. The team physician said yesterday that Andrews needed work on his arm and sent him home and retired him for the rest of the World Series. There are those who have said that no, that is not the case. Andrews was simply fired by the Oakland A's management. The Oakland A's applied to the commissioner's office to be allowed to reinstate Manny Trio, reserve Andrews. The commissioner has said no, Trio cannot suit up. They can suit up Mike Andrews, but the A's say they can't find him. Tennis is up now and apparently will remain in the game. But the sum and substance is that there are only 23 players on the A's active roster for this game, and they're down to one more man that can play in the field. Other than that, they've got Blue and Holtzman starting pitchers, Fingers, Pena, and Odom left in the bullpen. The Mets have much more to maneuver with as we may go to extra innings. 1 out of the 9. Tennis is up. Lindblad is ready, and so is Monte.
All right, Paul Lindblad ready to go to work on Felix Millan at a ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Last half of the 9th inning, tied up 2-2. Lindblad cranks it up. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball to short. Campaneris charges it. He's got it. Throws a strike to Davalillo at first, and there are 2 away. Jim, the Andrews story explains why the A's have one of the men absent, but they have another one absent. And the story there is that you must turn in a 25-man eligibility roster to playoffs in World Series by a certain date, September 1st. The A's turned in that 25-man list, and on that list was a player by the name of Jose Morales, a pinch-hitting catcher. After that list was turned in, the A's sold Morales to Montreal of the National League. And then in the playoffs, got permission to replace Morales with another player. North became injured then, and the National League has refused to allow a person to replace Morales on that 25-man roster. Here's Rusty Staub, and the first pitch is swung on, and foul tip for strike 1, and Paul Lindblad wanted that one back right after he threw it.
It's something that Dick Williams and the players do not want to discuss, nor would Charles O'Finley discuss with NBC Sports this afternoon the situation, but as far as this game is concerned, it really takes the manager of genius away from Dick Williams. He has that many men to work with.
Hey, some very versatile men. For instance, Davalillo has played 2 positions in the game. Here's a pitch to Rusty Staub. It's inside a half for a ball. There are 2 down in the 9th inning. Davalillo opened the game in center field. He's now at first base. Tennis opened at first base. He's now behind the plate. Pat Burke came on as a pinch hitter and stayed in the game to play first base, and now he's gone. Here's a 1-on-1 pitch. Up high, ball 2. Paul Lindblad did not win a game for the Oakland A's until the last week of the season. He pitched a full season without a win. He finally got a victory over the Chicago White Sox in relief on September the 28th. Left-hander comes to the plate, 2-1. Staub takes high for ball 3. They got a long ball hitting right-handed batter on deck. This is a man Paul Lindblad really would like to get out. A crippled left-handed hitting Rusty Staub. And here's a 3-1 pitch. Strike called. It's 3-2. Lindblad's basic pitches, a fastball and a slider. And once in a while, he'll throw a changeup, which he developed this year. Raleigh Fingers, the ace of the Oakland bullpen, is up now throwing. You don't suppose McGraw and Fingers could appear in 7 games out of 7 if this thing goes all the way. McGraw's already been in 3 out of 3. 3-2 pitch to Staub. Popped up behind the plate, but it's near the stand. Tennis is chasing it over there. It's going to land in the feet. Staub is still alive. And Lindblad still has to throw another strike. Leon Jones on deck. Boy, what a pressure pitching job that McGraw put on in the 9th inning. He got Ted Kubiak. The bunt back to him with runners at first and second and nobody down. They got fourth play at third. Then Manuel took a call third strike on a surprise fastball. Here's a 3-2. Line drive, left center field, hit well. Joe Rudy's not going to get to this one. It's going to go to the fence. It takes one hop and goes over the wall, and Rusty Staub has got a ground rule double. A base hit now, and the New York Mets could win it.
You begin to wonder now and look for Dick Williams to come out. Raleigh Fingers is warming up. Lindblad left-hander. Cleon Jones, two upper right-handed. Hitter. Of course, they could put Jones on since only one run is all that matters, and then go to the left-hander, John Milner, who is due up next. Which could, of course, force Yogi to go to his right-handed hitters, and he's got some, including Willie Mays. They're going to put him on.
They are going to watch Cleon Jones and play the percentages. So it's going to be up to John Milner. He's up with a chance with a man in scoring position in the ninth inning. Rusty Staub fought Paul Lindblad off until he got the count at 3-2. Fouled off one right straight up in the air. Then Lindblad got a high fastball in there, and Rusty rode it to the wall in left center field. It took one hop and went over the fence.
You just wonder. Here comes Milner up. You just wondered whether or not they might go for lightning twice within the couple of games of the World Series. Willie Mays, but Milner's going to be allowed to bat.
Lindblad traditionally has had as much, if not more, trouble getting left-handers out than he has right-handers. And sort of a unique twist. Dick Williams is calling the plate umpire, Jerry Neudecker, over to the dugout. Conferring about something. There's some activity in the Mets dugout that caused the A's coaches to tap Dick Williams on the shoulder, and they started looking to the lineup card. They're going to find out what's going on here. I don't know what this could be about unless Williams is trying to get a little more time for Raleigh Fingers to get loose out of the bullpen. They tell us that was probably what all the situation on the light changing out in Oakland was about on Sunday. There was an argument as to when the lights should be turned on. But whatever this is all about, Jerry Neudecker goes back to the plate. All right, the pressure is on. John Milner at the plate. Paul Lindblad on the mound. Rusty Staub at second. Lindblad gets set. Here's the pitch to Milner. Foul away, strike one, and Oakland is playing Milner as a dead pull hitter. They're giving him the left side of the infield here. Bert Campaneris is way over towards second base. Even with the left-hander Lindblad pitching. Out in center field, Angel Manuel is swung around to the right side. One strike count on the Met first baseman. The pitch to him. Curve, strike two call. Lindblad threw that one right at his shoulder, and it dived down through the strike zone knee high. It's no balls, two strikes. The A's 2, the Mets 2. Last half of the ninth inning, game 3 of the 1973 World Series, and it's all on the line right here. Here's the pitch. Long drive, right field. It's over Reggie Jackson's head. He reaches up. He's got it. On a no-ball, two-strike pitch, Paul Lindblad grooves one to the left-hander hitting John Milner. And he struck that ball hard to right. Jackson went on the run and picked it off. We've got extra innings in Game 3. And the score is the Oakland A's 2, the New York Mets 2. World Series that is captivating the nation in record numbers. We are going into the 10th inning with Tug McGraw against the top of the Oakland A's batting order, just beyond Campaneris. So far in the game, here's what happened in scoring. The Mets' Wayne Garrett started the game with a home run off Catfish Hunter. Beyond got on with a single, and they got him around. He scored on a wild pitch, and that's the last scoring for the Mets. Catfish Hunter went 6 innings, no 2. Oakland got their first run off Tom Seaver in the 6th on a double by Bando and a following double by Tennis. They tied the game in the 8th inning on a single, a stolen base by Campaneris, and a single by Rudy. Here we go to the 10th inning, and Tug McGraw against Joe Rudy, and once again, Jim Simpson.
All right, Monte. Rudy is 2 for 4, plus sending Hahn deep almost 400 feet away to haul in his long drive back in the 6th inning. Rudy has driven in the run of this game. Leads it off against Doug McGraw, grounds it foul up the third base line. This is the first time that there have been 2 extra inning games of the same series since 1958. When the Milwaukee Braves and Yankees played a couple of 10-inning games. And it's the first time there have been successive extra inning games in a World Series since 1933, since the Yankees beat Washington. Yes, sir, it's been 40 years since Washington, which no longer has baseball, was in a World Series. 1 strike to count to Rudy in a 2-2 ball game in the 10th. Breaking ball, misses strike ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rudy with Sal Bando on deck. Well, it is another one of those games. Over 4 hours and 40 minutes Sunday afternoon. This ball game now fast approaching the 3 hours. Breaking pitch again. The screwball misses outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. McGraw's effectiveness in the 9th inning was set up by his screwball. He did most of his damage with good fastballs. 2 balls, 1 strike. McGraw ready in the 10th. 2 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for both teams. Doug is back with another screwball that misses up high, and it's 3-1. Nobody in the Mets bullpen at the moment. Harry Parker's been throwing a great deal of the time. And with nearly the top of the batting order for the Oakland A's, nobody is up yet, although Lindblad was slotted number 7 in the lineup. 3 balls, 1 strike, another pitch, line to left field, overcomes Cleon Jones and takes the line drive. Rudy tonight retired for the 3rd time, and he's hit the ball hard 4 of the 5 times he's been at bat. That'll bring up Sal Bando. Struck out on a slider from Tom Seaver in the 1st. Line to left in the 4th. Doubled and scored the 1st run in the 6th. And sacrificed successfully in the 8th. Doug McGraw, the left-hander, throws him a screwball. Swinging strike. Strike 1. Out on deck is Reggie Jackson, who hasn't had it that good. 3 strikeouts and a short fly to center field with men on base. Back again, long drive down into the corner, along the left field line. Over goes Jones. It is a fair ball off the wall. Jones has it on 1 hop. Bando trips going around and goes into second base. And he's out. The ball gets away. Safe. Bando tripped going around first base and was an easy out, but the ball got away from Mian, who was down at second base and may be hurt. As Bando barreled in, he was sure shot out after tripping going around first base, but when he plowed into the second baseman, Mian, the ball got away from Felix, and Mian is just now picking himself up. And Bando is safe at second base. Bando may be hurt, too. He's limping around a little bit, Jim. Leon being ministered to, talked to by the trainer. That is a base hit, of course, off the wall. They're flashing that now, and there will be also an error registered against, I would assume, Mian, although there it is, Mian at second base for dropping the ball when Bando hit it. Al Mian. Can you believe this? 9 errors throughout a regular season. This is his 3rd error, and we're in the 3rd game of the World Series. One of his errors on Saturday afternoon allowed Matlack to go down with 2 unearned runs in a 2-1 ball game. And now his error here has put the go-ahead run in a 2-2 ball game on at second base with Reggie Jackson. Always dangerous, but as we said, not effective tonight. 2 up. Jim, Mian's really had to take a couple of tough errors tonight. I can't think of a tougher one than he just took right then. He fearlessly dived right into the oncoming spikes of Sal Bando, who's a 200-pounder, and put that glove over there at second base. I think he was surprised that Bando was coming, and then he just had to turn around. He sort of dived right down in there, and it was a fantastic collision. Mian is dirty from head to toe, and lucky, I think, to really be alive. Here was Reggie Jackson. Struck out 3 times against Tom Seaver before flying to short center field with a man in scoring position in the 8th inning. Jackson, the left-hander, had 4 hits Sunday. Ground high hopper to Mian, who takes it on the second hop, goes on to first base. As over to third base goes Bando. Jackson retired again, swinging on the first pitch as he did in the eighth, and he flied to short center.
Catcher, Gene.
And that'll bring it up to Gene Tennis, who was 1 for 3 plus a walk. His double drove in Bando in the sixth inning. And Tennis in the top half of this inning, I should say in the lower half of the ninth inning, really was hit on a swinging foul and went to the dirt, and there was some question whether or not he would return.
Yogi's going to let McGraw make a decision here, probably whether to pitch to Tennis, the right-hand batter, or Davalillo, a left-hander.
Well, the decisions are made, Monte, because Barrow's coming back. Brody starts back and now returns to McGraw as Harrelson goes out to shortstop. We've got 2 out in the Oakland 10th. And it's 2-2. I tell you what, I guess a lot of people have to go to work tomorrow. We've got a lot of people have left Shea Stadium. It was jam-packed, and most of the upper deck, at least down the right field line, has cleared out in a 2-2 ball game in the 10th. McGraw apparently is going to pitch to Gene Tennis with a go-ahead run at third base. Up high, ball 1. Now, naturally, Mian keeps cutting over behind the pitcher, Doug McGraw, on the return throw by Brody in case he gets by him to cut off Bando trying to come in from third base. McGraw ready again and throws down low. Held on to by Brody. Could be that they're going to pitch Tennis very carefully, and if they must put him on, they will. Now they're going to after 2-0. Here's 3-0 as they will walk him intensely. Try to get Tennis to go for a bad pitch when he would not, and the count went to 2-0. They simply decided, let's put him on. Bando's over at third base. And that'll bring up Davalillo, who is 1 for 4, and he reached on an error. Reggie Jackson, who went 0 for 5 tonight, did in a sense do one good thing. His ground ball to the right side enabled Bando to go from second to third. And we all remember what happened back in the first inning with a man at third base, Leon. He was wild pitched home. That was the second of the 2 New York runs. The other was a leadoff home run by Wayne Garrett in the first inning. The A's have done their scoring lately in the 6th and in the 8th. Here's Davalillo, a little left-hander who takes that step, who bails out, as Monte described, who runs up the line as he swings. First pitch, strike on the outside corner. Davalillo back in the 9th inning lined a shot on one hop off Neon's glove, and it rolled out into right field, and they gave Neon his second error of the series on that play. And now in the very next inning, and Bando barrels into him, Neon draws his third. He's already pitching from the stretch, throws the screwball, drive high, right field, stop, comes in. This should be it. McGraw's heading for the dugout. Stop, grabs it, one hand. No run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left. We go to the last of the 10th, and we're all caught up in game number 3. It's 2-2. And Jerry Grody, 0 for 4 tonight. Steps in, right-handed, hitting catcher, 5 defensive player against Paul Lindblad, who is the 3rd Oakland pitcher tonight, coming on in the 9th inning, getting a little trouble after 2 out, but getting out of it as Miller sent a sinking line drive. There's a ground ball towards second. Kubiak up with it. Sidearms it over to first, and there's 1 out in the New York 10th. Brody hitting the first pitch from Paul Lindblad. Don Hahn, 1 for 4 tonight, has hit the ball twice very hard his first 2 times up. He lined to Rudy and left in the first, and then followed with a double in the 4th. Inside the bag at third base. Since then, he's been retired on an easy fly ball to left and a ground to the Campaneris at shortstop. Cappy has shown us tonight that he, like Harrelson, fine fielding shortstop. 2 of the premier fielding shortstops in baseball, playing in the World Series of '73. Lindblad, the left-hander, throws the fastball. It misses. It's ball 1. Well, the team that wins in will have the obvious edge. Tomorrow night, John Matlack for New York and Holtzman for the Oakland A's. Rematch of the opening day assignment. Ground ball right side. Kubiak there has another shot and throws on to Davalillo, the first baseman. And that's 2 down. Both on easy ground balls. Kubiak at second base. And that'll bring up Harrelson, who was 3 for 8, getting 3 base hits on Sunday, and he is 1 for 4 tonight. A single in the 6th inning that almost took Catfish Hunter's head off. and glove off. Right back to the box. Oakland 2, New York 2. Last of the 10th, Game 3 of the World Series. McGraw in a jacket walks out on deck. Nobody throwing in either bullpen. Lindblad is ready and throws. Strike on the outside corner. Harrelson bunted through the ball, and this is the first time we've seen Bud tonight batting from the right side. Going against the left-hander. Check that. This is the second time. Knowles also had him swing around to the right side of the plate. One of the switch hitters in the ball game. Kubiak, who's retired 2-man here in the 10th, is another one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Harrelson. Crowd gets very quiet now with 2 out in the last of the 10th. That pitch is down low. It's 2-1. Eddie Yost, the coach over at third base, claps it up for Bud Harrelson. Harrelson, a better hitter for average from the right side, where he is now. Grounds this one past Yost, the coach at third. Foul, and it's 2-2. Well, Tennis started at first base, then Burke. Now Davalillo is there. Green started at second base. Kubiak is there now. Davalillo started in center. Manguel is there now. Fossey was the catcher. He's out of the game. Tennis is there. As Dick Williams continues to maneuver with not much room left to maneuver more. 2-2 the count, 2-2 the score. 2 out in the 10th. Lindblad back and throws outside. 3-2. Well, you wonder if Harrelson gets on just what kinds of moves, if any, Yogi Berra will make. Will he go to Willie Mays, the right-hander, and take McGraw out? Foul tip. Fingers is not throwing in the bullpen for the Oakland A's. The ball game now almost 3 hours old here at Chase Stadium in New York. Very little scoring, and did we see some kind of performance from Tom Seaver tonight, who left after 8 innings, striking out 12 men, giving up 7 hits. Ground ball right side, base hit. Winning run potentially on at first base, and here comes Willie Mays. Willie Mays, 42 years old, started as a rookie in 1951, and with the New York Giants went all the way to the World Series, closing out his career here in 1973. 22 years later, and he's gone all the way to the World Series with another New York National League team, the Mets. He had a run-scoring RBI in the first game, and another one in game number 2. Number 24 flashes up on the scoreboard. 2-2, 2 out of the 10th. They're looking for some of that Mays magic. Right-handed batter against the left-hander Paul Lindblad, and nobody busy at all in the A's bullpen. Lindblad throws to Mays, ground ball in the hole. Campanelli goes to second base. He's out at second base on the first play. First play, Harrelson out at second base. Mays first ball swinging. Campanelli went into the hole to his right, turned and fired to the second baseman Kubiak, and in a close play, he's gunned down. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 10, it's still New York 2, Oakland 2. They're back at Chase Stadium in New York, and now we're going to the 11th inning. Yet another pitcher, Harry Parker. Seaver started. Sadecki came on and pitched to a couple of batters in the 9th inning before Chuck McGraw came on, and he was batted for by Willie Mays. And now Parker, a right-hander who has been in 1 game, pitched an inning, gave up 1 hit and no run, is on for his 2nd World Series appearance. Let's pause as he warms up 30 seconds for station identification. And Terry Parker, and here is Monte Moore. Harry Parker won 8 games and lost 4 for the Mets this year with an ERA of 3.34. Paul Lindblad, left-hand batter, ready. Here's a pitch to him, and it's outside ball 1. Lindblad is one of the best all-around athletes on the Oakland A's staff. He's an outstanding diver. He was a former national javelin throwing champion. Good hitter among the pitchers. Pitches low for ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Dick Williams
Going with Paul Lindblad as the leadoff batter here in the 11th inning. Ted Kubiak and Angel Mangual will follow. 2-0 pitch. Strike call. Lindy taking all the way. Oakland has only one man left on the bench, Billy Canigliaro. He was swinging a bat for a while, but Dick Williams elected to go with Lindblad. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Strike two. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. So this is the 4th Met pitcher of the ball game. Seaver started, Sadecki and McGraw worked. The pitch to Lindblad, fouled out of play down the left field line. It's still 2-2. Well, they've said the Mets haven't done it easy all year, and the A's have sort of had a saying on their ball club all year long: they don't win them easy and they don't lose them easy. And that's another example. 2-2 pitch. Line drive to the shortstop. Harrelson's got it. Paul Lindblad hits the pretty well. A little sinking liner off to the right of Harrelson, and he came up with the ball. One down. Here's Ted Kubiak, a switch hitter. Dick Williams has used 4 pinch hitters in the game. Here's the pitch to Kubiak, and it's inside for ball 1. Pat Burke, Jesus Salou, Darren Johnson, and Angel Mangual have all come up as pinch hitters. Yogi Berra used 2, Bishop and Mays. There's ball 2 to Kubiak. 2 balls and no strikes. Both the Mets and the A's had runners in scoring position in the 9th inning and couldn't get them across, and both teams had a man on in the 10th inning. Oakland had 2 on. Pitch is high, ball 3 to Kubiak. Harry Parker's been up in that bullpen quite a few times tonight. Coming into a game like this, he's got to be a little bit nervous. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, Kubiak is on. That's only the 3rd Oakland A's player to receive a free ticket to first tonight. McGraw walked 1. That was intentional. Seaver walked 1. And now here's Angel Mangual, the Oakland center fielder who came on to pinch hit for Darrell Nove in the 9th inning and took a call, 3rd strike. Bert Cavaneris is on deck. That's about halfway looking for a bunt. Garrett's playing very shallow at third. Here's a pitch. Curve. Right. Ball. Mangual fell off that plate. Ball turned a corner and went right down through the strike zone. It's no balls, 1 strike. Mangual is liable to hit the ball anywhere. The Mets claim to hit it to right center. He has good power. He hasn't played much for Oakland this year. He ended up being the number 3 center fielder. Here's a pitch to him. Curve. Strike 2 call. And Mangual has not swung the bat in the last 3 pitches thrown to him for the called 3rd strike in the 9th inning. And now the first 2 thrown by Parker here are curveballs, and he's looked at both of them. Milner holding against Kubiak. Parker throws. Fastball just missing. And it didn't miss by much. I would look for him to go back to the breaking ball here. He must have realized that Mangual didn't like it too much. He threw him 2 good ones, and Angel took both of them. Big hole between the 3rd baseman and shortstop on the left side of the infield. Parker set, checks the runner, throws to the plate. It's in the dirt. Nice block by Grody. Boy, what a fine job this guy does behind the plate. One of the great pleasures of working a World Series is being able to see the players from the other league that you only hear about during the season. Parker 2-2. Delivers. Fastball, swing and a miss. 3rd strike. The catcher drops the ball. Mangual goes to first, and Kubiak goes to second. Parker struck out Mangual, and Grody, whom we've just been talking about his defense, didn't handle the 3rd strike. He tried to catch the ball one-handed, and now they're saying that it was a foul. Oh, he's out. He couldn't run to first base. Ben Wells took off to first. With a runner on at first, he couldn't run. But Kubiak is able to advance to second base. But now Campaneris bats. A runner at second base. Campy came up in the ninth inning with 2 men on. And McGraw got him on a screwball to pop up to center field. Buzz Capra starts throwing in the Met bullpen. 2 down. Kubiak off second. The pitch to Campaneris with a curve outside, ball 1. That is 14 Oakland A's batters to strike out in this ball game. Seaver got 12 of them. Campaneris ready for the 1-0 pitch. Strike, whistling right through there. 1-1. Ed Kubiak away from second and 2 down. Parker throws. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 2. Boy, I'll tell you, the suspense in this ball game has been there. For a 2-2 game, there have been a lot of runners in scoring position. Parker's ahead of Campaneris at a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Curveball foul off the right field line. Stone, a left-hander, has joined the right-hander out of the bullpen, Buzz Capra. The game is on the field right now where Harry Parker's got it all to himself. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bert Campaneris with Ted Kubiak a base hit away from coming in with a tie-breaking run. Crowd buzzing. They've been out on the edges of their seats for about 2 hours here. The pitch. Inside the Campaneris. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Parker ready again. Here's a pitch. Line drive, left center field, base hit. Ed Kubiak rounding third. He's coming home. Here comes the throw, and Campaneris goes all the way to second, and they cut it off and throw it to second to get him, but the run does score. Garrett cut the ball off at the pitcher's mound and threw to second to get Campaneris, but his base hit did score Ted Kubiak before they got him. So Oakland has broken the tie. It's the A's 3 and the Mets 2.
Well, I don't think we have to spell it out for the Monte in the last of the 11th inning. Paul Lindblad gets the job done against 3 of the toughest hitters in the New York Mets lineup. It is the Oakland A's who will take a 2-1 lead. But then, who knows? 11th inning, here's Monte.
Wayne Garrett, the leadoff man against Paul Lindblad. A check swing liner right through the box in the center field, a base hit. Wayne Garrett keeps the Mets alive. He tried to stop his swing on a breaking ball up high and landed right over the pitcher's head in the center field. So the Mets have the tying run on, and here is Felix Millan, who really can handle that bat. So Wayne Garrett, who has been tough on Oakland the entire series, has opened up a door in inning number 11. And Raleigh Fingers are going to be called in out of the Oakland bullpen possibly here. He's throwing hard, and Dick Williams is going to the mound to talk to Paul Lindblad.
I'm sorry, Marty. While he's out there talking, we'll remind you again that we are now in the 11th inning of a ball game that's about 3 hours and 10 minutes old. And a ball game that started out with an absolutely capacity house. So that means many more than 50,000 here at Shea Stadium in New York. But it is late New York time, about before midnight. And many people have left Shea Stadium heading for home, choosing to listen on the radio or take the chances that it'll be on television still when they get home. Raleigh Fingers being called in the 11th inning after the Oakland A's came on to tie it up. In the 8th inning, they went until the 11th inning when the Oakland A's went ahead by the score of 3-1 on the run-scoring single by Bert Campaneris. His third hit of the night. Campaneris has been something else. As a matter of fact, his second hit of the night. After that, he stole second and came home with a tying run on Rudy's base hit in the 8th inning. Now in the 11th inning, he started everything by driving in the go-ahead run, Ted Kubiak. But now in the last of the 11th inning, Garrett, as described by Monte, just simply tried to check a swing against a breaking pitch that was well out of the strike zone. He didn't go all the way around, but he checked it and lined it right over the head of Paul Lindblad and into center field. Now, beyond, you know, as we said, seldom strikeout. He is a good man, maybe up there to bunt, maybe up there on the run. But I would imagine at home, Monte Moore, even in the World Series, when you are the home team, you want to make sure you tie it up before you try to win it. And so the odds are that Beyond is up there to do one thing, and that is to bunt. Raleigh Fingers, like Doug McGraw, has seen more than his share of duty here in the World Series. Fingers, well, this is the third game, and it's the third game for Raleigh. As you know, Matt Black, or rather McGraw, had pitched 8 innings in 2 games and came on and pitched tonight. He has won 1 and lost none. Fingers is 0-1 in 2 games and pitched 6 innings. And Fingers, who's very effective and has been, Monte, has not been effective that much here in the World Series. In 6 innings, he is ballooned to a 6 earned run average. Raleigh Fingers is a very strong right-hander, and my last recollection of Raleigh, before the errors by Mike Andrews, was at second base, when he threw a very good pitch to Willie Mays, only to have him grounded on one hop, bounced it over his head into center field for a run-tying RBI single, and Raleigh simply threw his glove up in the air. He's got a chance to team himself now. The A's are out in front 3-2, but the tying run is on at first base with none out. Fingers is ready, Leon is ready, and Monte is ready.
All right. Felix Leon, tough little right-handed batter. Fingers pitched 3 1/3 innings the first time out, 2 2/3 the next, and here he goes to work. Garrett off first base. Davalillo holding against him and ready to go into the plate. Here's a pitch. Leon squares around, bumps it hard to the first base side. Davalillo's got it, tags out Leon, and now the Mets have the tying runner in scoring position with 1 out. And they have Rusty Staub and Cleon Jones, 2 of their big hitters, that try to knock in that go-ahead run. Leon, a good bunt, moves Garrett in. And here comes Wes Stock out to talk to Raleigh Fingers now. Rusty Staub's had 2 hits in this game. One a bouncer through the left side of the infield, the other a double to left center field that took 1 hop and bounced over the fence for a ground rule double. So the Mets are hit away from tying the ball game. A pass ball by usually very reliable Jerry Grote allowed Ted Kubiak to get into scoring position in the top of the 11th inning after Mangual struck out. And then Campaneris knocked him in. Now the Mets get a break on a check swing single, and the Sacrificers move their man up, and here's Rusty Staub. Fingers come to the plate. Hard stuff in there. Called strike. The A's outfielders poised and ready to throw if they get that ball. Rudy in left, Mangual in center, Jackson in right. They all have strong arms. Here's the pitch to Staub. Popped up, center field. Angel Mangual is back under the ball. He makes the catch, and there are 2 down. Now Cleon Jones comes up. Jones, the hottest hitter for the Mets during their stretch to the pennant in the night, has in this ball game gone 0 for 4 with a walk. And the big hitters in this game, Jackson and Jones, have been stopped completely tonight, Jim.
Well, there's signs everywhere, Monte, that say you gotta believe. But obviously hundreds and thousands of Met fans do not believe. The tying run is down there at second base, and Cleon Jones, as we have described, is quite a hitter. Although he's hitless tonight, but he came in as the top man in base hits in the World Series with 5. All he has to do is get 1, and we got a 3-3 ball game. But some of the you gotta believers don't believe and are heading for the exit.
Wayne Garrett off second. Raleigh Fingers set. Here's a pitch. Fastball outside. It's 1-0. The A's play Jones straight away. Reggie Jackson doing some knee bends out in right field. Dick Davalillo very close to the first base foul line, and he is the A's first baseman. He's the only man really over-shifted for Jones. Fingers pitch. Strike on the outside corner, a hard-sinking fastball. Fingers has one of the biggest breaking sliders of all pitchers at ball. But he came out of that bullpen and has thrown nothing but smoke so far. Garrett leads away. Fingers steals a glance at him. Comes to the plate. Just missed outside. 2 balls and a strike. Leon Jones, one of the Mets, who was on the 1969 World Championship team for New York. He cocks the bat. Fingers ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on late and fouled up into the crowd right over the top of the Met dugout. So Fingers now goes to a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Oakland leading 3-2. Last half of inning number 11, Game 3 of the World Series. The game started a long time ago by 2 great right-handers, Catfish and Tom Seaver. They're both gone and no longer a part of it. Fingers set. On comes the arm. Here's the pitch. Bouncing ball to shortstop. Campaneris has got it. He throws to first. The A's win game number 3 on a sensational relief job by Raleigh Fingers. The final score of the ball game as Oakland takes a 2-1 edge in the game, 3-2.